because I'm worth it.
Yeah.
Hi guys, sorry we're like super late. Is this Baru's fault?
How was it my fault? I wasn't even opening whiskey.
I don't know.
He was the last one to arrive.
Yeah, he
That's
was
true.
though. It's true.
Well, I arrived twice.
You came twice.
Yes.
Oh
yes.
my gosh.
For some reason, my headphones stopped working every time I turn my microphone on.
This is what happens when
That's
I'm left
weird,
alone
folks.
with boys. It's gonna become one of those streams again.
Did I say anything wrong? Sorry.
No, it's all good.
I'm not yeah, it's not my first language. Sorry.
Dan's very
Can you
innocent.
explain to me what was weird about what I said?
I don't know. Disparu's the one that made it seem like it was weird. So.
Oh.
Well, I didn't even make a comment about it at all. You're the one who's like, oh, now I can't be here around boys. Like some kind of high school, oh no, the boys are here.
Ooh, boys.
Yeah, yes, it's ex-Vasc girl today. That's our third co-host. But it's been a bit. I know we've had Dan on a few times. He's one of the regular. Oh, yep, there, totally. Uncanny resemblance.
Yes.
Hi,
yes.
guys.
I love it. Even when you're doing that, your eyes are still more open than X-ray girls. It's like I can still see more of your eyeballs.
Oh, no. Oh, goodness. Well, how have you been, Dan? You've been a busy boy here making music and stuff.
Yeah, I actually been making a lot of music, but haven't been uploading a lot of music. But I've been working on a ton of secret projects, which are not so secret. I announced a bunch of them last month. The Men Buns Are Gay song is almost done. The collab with Ripa is almost done. All the pre-production of my Manowar tribute album is done. So yeah, been working a lot. Just
Busy.
haven't been uploading.
No. Also, you haven't been playing games.
Yeah, it's been like 2 months.
What? He hasn't. People are waiting for the
it was
conclusion.
like it was an accusation. You've not been playing your game.
You have
Normally,
not
the other
been
way
playing
around. It's like you've
games.
not
You have
been
not
working because you've been playing games.
You have
It's like,
not
I can't believe
finished
you've done
Red
all of
Dead.
those albums. I would much prefer to watch you play
We could-
Mario.
Wicked's like the anti-mom.
Yeah.
Like, you have not been playing games.
I am very
Well, I
disappointed
know.
in you.
Flop out and play the PS4.
Well, he hasn't.
Yeah.
It was like every week. I mean, I've already played Red Dead
I was
Redemption.
playing. Yeah, I
But
was playing Red
that
Dead
was like my
Redemption a lot.
background thing. Like when he'd be streaming, I'd be working. I'm like, okay, time to listen to this beautiful game because the music, everything on it is great. I'm playing it now
Yeah.
too, actually.
For the first time.
No, second time,
Oh,
second
okay.
playthrough. The first was probably like 3 or 4 years after it released, so it was still relatively around the time that it came out. Yeah.
Yeah,
Probably
it's
'cause
one
you
of
stopped
my
playing
top
it.
10. Yeah.
So she's like, well,
no,
if you're not going to play it, I'm going to have to do it myself.
Yeah, if you're not gonna finish it, I will.
no, I'm planning to platinum it live because the Steam version is the first version that doesn't have the achievements that require multiplayer because the Steam version doesn't have multiplayer. So it's very feasible to 100% it. So I'm gonna do it live. Eventually when I go back to play it.
Soon, don't worry, guys. Everyone's
Yeah.
on the edge of their seats waiting for you to finish it.
gonna make
Well, no,
him.
I got so mad. What's that? The rabbit that's got the antlers. What's that called?
Oh yeah, I forgot. But
You
it
know what
took
I'm
me
talking about?
It took me a bunch of time to. It took me so long to find it, and when I finally found it, it was like totally by chance.
Yeah, and you want to know what? I found it, but it was during the cutscene of a jackalope. Thank you, chat.
Yes, jackalope.
Jackalope. Yeah, so I seen it during like a cutscene,
Oh, really?
You remember? Yeah, do you remember the lady?
And there's
that,
nothing
like,
you can do.
No, you remember the lady that was like, wouldn't let you save her? That was like in the middle of the desert, the Christian woman who was just like,
Oh, there you found it there.
I'm sitting there listening to her story. It's all like sad and stuff, and I'm like, there's the jackalope in the background, and then afterwards it wasn't there. I was like, come on,
It was gone. Wow.
Yeah, that's so mad.
I found it on the cave where you find that snake oil guy.
Oh, okay.
The cave where he lives. It was just there hanging out.
Yeah. Well, he's gone forever for me. I don't think I'm going to find him.
Try that cave.
I'll go back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. We'll try. So, Disparu, what have you been up to?
I saw a trailer about a murderous unicorn. Yeah, when I went to watch Mickey 17, there's a horror movie about they run over a unicorn, and then the mum comes along and just starts slaughtering everybody.
With their horn?
With everything. It's got like massive teeth and everything. There's a whole thing with like the shadow. It looks like an alien shadow.
That sounds
it's just a
familiar.
unicorn with a big horn. Yeah.
Has there ever been something like that before?
They've done it a few times where, because there was one about the tooth fairy that was just a murderous tooth fairy. Then there was one with Winnie the Pooh, who's actually a lunatic.
Yeah, there's
that,
that trope now of making like cute things murderous.
Mm-hmm.
I can't watch the Peter Pan one because I really love the Peter Pan story. Even though I know the original is supposed to have some dark tones to it, but I mean the Disney one.
original
All
is very
children's
dark.
stories are rough.
But yeah, all of
Children's
them
stories
are.
from back then,
Yeah, because they're meant to teach you something about the world, and a lot of it was you shouldn't you just go out into the forest and there's a woman who offers you sweets. Don't trust that woman. It's like you don't think about why until you're like, oh, okay, I know what's going on now.
And they end up throwing that woman in a oven,
Which is based.
and killing her burned.
Mm-hmm.
Killing her burned. Yes.
In
Why
this,
is the chat saying that I'm going to become a murderer?
Hey.
in this, they run over the unicorn child, and then they find it's the cure for cancer, it's the cure for this. So the death is improving the world, and then the mother just comes along and starts annihilating them, and it seems like a comedy horror film. So it could be.
So when you kill a unicorn, all the problems of the world are solved.
Yeah, it starts like healing people and everything.
Wow.
Because it's essentially a magical creature, but then the mum appears.
And kills everyone, so it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
Interesting.
Okay, well, we do have some topics. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to change the title because I was just informed that we can't watch the new teaser for Thunderbolts.
I said I don't know.
I know, but
be
I didn't
fine.
know about the music, but it might not
Yeah, but
be.
all trailers have music.
It's true. If I'm going to do it, I might as well do it soon because then I'll find it easier to edit it out if we do get it.
Maybe watch it on 0.75 speed or something.
Super fast.
No,
You guys-
like a quarter slow.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
0.75.
All right. Should we give it? You know what? We're going to give it a go. And we're going to start with that so that if I do have to cut it out after the live.
This is why.
be
This is one of
easier.
the reasons why running this through OBS and stuff is useful because you can apply filters in OBS, so you can
that's true.
do the shit,
This is a Pepsi cup.
change the pitch.
And
flip, rotate,
something
everything.
very cool that I discovered, you can apply custom shaders on OBS, such as like you can download a CRT shader, for example,
Hi,
and
Kara.
if you want, hi Kara, and if you want to do a retro stream or something, you can do like a CRT shader. It's very
you can do
cool.
almost anything with OBS.
The chat saying watch muted. I was going to do that, but apparently the music just really goes with it. So
It does. I mean, you can watch it muted, but
we'll do it. It's
a lot
fine.
of
You know
it
what?
will
I
go-
don't care. They're not going to
about
like.
half of it is text
If anything, they'll
without
just
the music.
Yeah, it's fine. I can just cut it out after the live. So if you're watching this now and you don't see the trailer, they got me. Llama pajamas for 5.
They
Just
got
play
me.
it. Okay, I'll do it. Okay, here we go. I haven't seen this yet, and I know Dan hasn't because
I think it's the best one they've done.
I don't
Really?
see anything.
I don't see anything. I don't care. he lives in his happy little Brazilian bubble.
Well, my
Yeah.
favorite thing about this is I forget her name. Florence Pugh, is it?
Yeah.
Came out and said the great thing about this is it feels like an A24 indie movie. Like, hang on, if you spend $200 or $300 million on a movie, it should not feel like a small budget indie movie.
Yeah,
It's not a
that's
compliment.
true. Right? It's like an indie movie feeling like a high budget movie. That's a compliment.
Yes.
Like God,
Yeah.
-1. That was low budget, and that
Like, we really managed to lower the quality level of this movie. You'll
Like
you won't believe how much we spent on it once you see
It looks
what
like
the
we
quality
recorded
of
it. It looks like we recorded it in the garage.
We did it on an iPhone.
Okay, here we go. Thunderbolts trailer. It's only a minute long, so I'm playing it slow.
There's something.
How slow?
Yeah,
Is it
put it regular.
2.25?
I did point.
Oh wow! I felt like I was having a stroke.
Sounds retarded, yeah.
Hold on, I'm just gonna do regular.
Yeah, I thought she was drunk. There's something wrong in the well somewhere.
Sorry, Amanda. It was my idea. So.
No, it's fine. It was funny.
Maybe 1.25 would be better.
Yeah, drunk trailer, guys. This is Saucy. But no, Disparu watches everything at 1.5 or like 1.75.
I watch everything at 2x.
That was probably
everything's slow
painful
to
for
me.
him. Okay, here we go.
Wrong.
What the heck? Was that her? Did they make
who?
that was her? There was two of them. She went. Maybe it's a dream.
Yeah,
or
and
something.
it's probably some kind of weird hallucination. Well, I
Okay.
don't know the powers of the villain. Apparently, he's really powerful,
Writers and directors of
which
Beef.
makes
That
it
was
more
okay.
stupid that it's against them.
Hey, this is how X-Ray Girl sounds when she drinks unsugar. Oh. Yeah, it's like all music. Is there any dialogue?
The Avengers are not
A bit.
coming.
Here we
Who
go.
will keep people safe?
Yeah, but that immediately goes back to music. Like, it's a lot more stylized than any of the other
Yeah.
trailers.
Oh
And
my gosh, what is this? They're making
that's better
Buffy
because-
a slob.
everything I've seen of the movie is awful. All the scenes where there's one bit where they did it and it was the fight in the car and it's trash. But when they don't show you the movie, it looks good.
Yeah, this looks. I'd go see this. I'll probably eventually watch it, but not.
Yes! Yeah!
Yeah,
Is it?
I can definitely see like an indie / Tarantino vibe trying to be enforced. What is the source material of this? I don't know anything about it.
About Thunderbolts?
Yeah.
Well, Thunderbolts,
What's
as
it
far as I'm
about?
aware, exist. It's kind of their version of the Suicide Squad.
Mm-hmm.
The issue is that all of the characters in this are not in the Thunderbolt. So it's not related to the source material at all. What this is, it's
That's
all
crazy.
of the side characters of previous movies and TV shows that are basically nobodies that nobody cares about, that they've shoved into a movie and for some reason think you'll start.
That's crazy because they're already using a brand that's not very upfront in Marvel. It's kind of a side thing. And on top of it, you're not even using the correct stuff from the canon.
Yeah.
Which is
it's-
like you're doing a side thing on the side thing.
Yeah, and they're following Suicide Squad, which failed on its own. And I've heard of them.
And that's
I've
something that
never heard of
shouldn't have failed.
Thunderbolts.
The writing
So-
just wasn't there. Suicide Squad should have been very popular. They just.
Yeah, but what does what I mean? The main brand still failed. So
Yeah.
you're doing a copy of the main brand
Right.
that failed with lower
And you're gonna
characters
fail
already.
even more.
And it's
Yeah.
just all the way down. You're like, maybe this bargain bucket will work.
It always blows my mind with Marvel. I mean, the way they used to go about, they did change the comics a bit, like when they brought it, to live action, but they stayed pretty close to the source material. And it's just, I don't get that. You have a blueprint right in front of you to make something great. Or my thing when they change something from a book or a comic book, if you add to the story, that's cool. But when you change it and make it worse, why? Take what is on the pages and put it in live action. Don't change it and make it stupid.
I'm actually not against changing the source material if you improve it.
Yeah,
The
that's what I
issue
mean.
is
Like, you
nobody
add
trusts
the
them to
story.
because they're all talentless hacks.
There are cases where comic book movies changed the source material and it was good. I wouldn't say better than the source material, but it was good in their own way. One example of that is Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah,
Conan the
sometimes
Barbarian was
to...
entirely different from the comic books.
Starship Troopers.
Sometimes you have to
unrelated
change
to the book,
it
never even read it.
in order for it to make sense on live screen, right? Like if you take like an anime and you put that on live screen, sometimes you got to change some stuff up or it's going to look way too silly for real life. You know, just as an example.
Yeah. Exactly. So is that the consent about this movie? People don't care?
They don't care. I haven't seen anybody hyped for
Is it gonna
this.
flop?
It's
I
the
think
same with most Marvel stuff, though. This is the issue now. They've killed all kind of benefit of the doubt, and it's more a case of you need to prove to me first. So before people are like, yeah, I'll go and see it, I'll give it a try. Now it's like, no, I want to know before I go to the cinema that this is good. And when trailers come, no one's got any hype. It's like, I think that trailer looks good. I like the trailer. I have no confidence in the movie. It wouldn't make me go and see it if I wasn't going to watch it anyway.
Yeah, especially for such a niche thing that you need the hardcore fans for. That's not something that's going to appeal to the normies at all.
No. The normies need, like, you know,
Captain
Superman
America,
and Captain America.
Yeah, the characters that they know that you killed off because you didn't like the people that were playing them.
Yeah, when you're going to do such a niche thing, you need the fans. You actually need the hardcore fandom.
It's like in this, the most well-known, well-liked character is Buffy. And there was an interview where it's like, no, he's definitely leading this. And that, but in the trailer, on the posters, always Florence Pugh. She's always forefront and center. It looks like it's her movie.
It's because they're trying to make her the next Black Canary. I think she's her sister, but it's not going to work. They already did it, and they did it right.
Nobody cared about her in Black Widow.
Not in Black Widow, no.
She,
she was good in, Avengers and everything, but once the turnover happened,
she was good in Avengers. She was just kind of existing.
Eye candy for the men.
She wasn't even that because she spent her entire time taking the piss out of Black Widow, who was the eye candy. So you're not like throwing yourself into the role of I want to be there for the male gaze. If anything, you took the piss out of it. Like, oh, you shouldn't do all the poses and stuff. Like,
no! I meant actual Black Widow was like good. Not her, not the movie. The character was good. Like Natasha Florence, was good back in the
she
the
was
Avenger
the
days.
Deconstruction of the male gaze Black Widow character. Essentially, she was looking at it going, "You shouldn't be doing all of this. It looks stupid."
Yeah. She was. So. Yeah, it's true. And while we're on the topic of Marvel, I know Dan hasn't seen this. And before Disparu goes on a rant about it, I want to say my piece because I just finished the first 2 episodes of Daredevil. Now, the original Daredevil that was on Netflix, I think that's the best superhero show that's come out in live action. That was just so well done. Ever. It was. Yeah, I think it's fair to say that. I mean, there's quite a few good ones, but the writing was great. The cinematography, it was just perfect. So
what would be some contenders?
Some contenders?
Smallville
was good. I mean, if I'm not gonna
Superman and Lois.
That's like my nostalgia, right? I don't want to let that take over. But I'll say, to be fair, I'll say in the more out of like in the last 10 years, like more recent TV.
No, I've seen other people saying that.
It's
the
great.
Best superhero show.
Yeah, it was so good. So even just bringing it back, even if it was the same people, I would be nervous. But the fact that Disney has it, I'm like, obviously, like it's going to be trash. So with that being said, in my opinion, the original was 10 out of 10. This, I would say, is like a 6, 7 out of 10 because it wasn't horrible. But when you're comparing it to the trash that Marvel's giving us now, that's why. If this came out back when Marvel was at its peak, it would be put down like a lower level. It's just they didn't capture, and I'm not gonna. Don't worry, guys. No spoilers. I'm trying to keep this spoiler free. But they just didn't capture the same feeling that you got in the original, the first Daredevil show. And they changed characters and stuff, and it's just like, not really feeling it. I'll finish it so that we can, review it here on Saucy if you guys want. I know Disparu's gonna have to finish it for F&T. Same with X-Ray. But
against my will.
Yeah, but that's my take on it. I seen some people were just like praising it, and if you like it, that's fine. It's not horrible. I don't think it's a horrible show, but we're comparing it to what we get now from Marvel, which is crap.
A guy was thrown off a roof, and I envied him. I wish I was that man.
That's why I'm like, let me let this
repeatedly while I was
go.
watching it, I was like, if only someone would throw me off a roof, I wouldn't have to watch this show. It was some of the most boring television that I've seen, and I think the reason why people are saying it doesn't capture the original is because it doesn't have any of the depth.
Yeah,
it's shallow as a duck's backside, and everything is just about internal emotions. It's not looking outwards, as in the ideas of what it means to be a hero, the concept of any kind of challenge between him and the villain, what it would mean to be them in those kind of roles, how would they handle that situation, given that, well, I want to be good, but also I'm a criminal. That's my skill set. So am I going to use my criminality for good? Is that the aim? And what does it mean if somebody else is fighting criminality, but if you're using criminality for good, now they're fighting good as well? There's ideas you can play with, and instead it's just, no, I'm really upset. And I don't like it, and I'm single. I'm upset and lonely, and I want to go on a date. And his friends are going, you really should go on a date. And I'm just thinking, somebody punch someone in the face, like, just for something to do. And there's one scene where he's like, I want you to do something. And he's like, I'm not going to do it. He went, here's a photo. I'm going to do it. And a guy walks up to him and goes, that was really smart. You showed him a pissing photo. It's all soft power manipulation. Basically, it's like they watched Raymond Reddington and didn't understand what made the character great. So they think they're doing something complicated and interesting. Like, it would have been more fun if you dangled him over a balcony. If you just used hard power rather than soft manipulation. There's literally a scene of him filling in a hole in the road. And everyone's like, you're not going to fill in that hole. He's like, I'm going to fill in that hole. Hey, guy, come over here. Fill in this hole. And he walks off and he goes, that was some good work filling in that hole. These are actual lines in the TV series.
Yeah.
It's very Gen Z humor.
Yeah,
it
is.
I haven't watched it, but by what you're describing, I just can only think like, oh, somebody Gen Z wrote this.
Dang, Gen Zers
so
at it
earlier.
again. No.
Or a woman.
It's
a very feminine show. It's a lot about your internal feelings and being upset and
I get
unhappy.
that, and as a woman, I still am not even into it. I preferred the more gritty and dark Daredevil that we got before. It's
the story of a male hero is generally something horrific has happened, and he's like, "There's no way I can continue, but I'm still gonna have to."
Yeah,
and it's like my feelings don't matter because somebody else needs me. There's no one else for this, and so I'm going to have to do it. It's like, have you ever seen those videos? The difference between men and women
Manning
working
up.
out. And the woman's like,
yes.
oh, well, if I do this, my ass will look bigger and I'll get all the men. And the man's just like, if I don't do another lift, all my family are going to die.
Will die, and I'm gay.
It's just that's the difference between the two kinds of episodes.
Yeah. And then the girl's like, I love myself. I'm perfect the way I am. And then the guy, I hate myself. I'm a pussy.
Everything that went wrong in the world is my fault.
Yeah.
I love those videos of like a guy he'll try to eat a banana and then it's like gay, and he has to break it in half, or he like lays down and tries to put his leg up, and it's like gay, and he's got to like straighten out. That's how it is for men. Apparently,
yeah.
Gotta be careful.
And the guy's working out and he's gonna put on a glove and gay. No gloves.
There are sometimes there was just a video of someone walking along the road and he just went, only men will understand this. And it was just loading out, I don't understand this. It was like he was playing the crack game of just, what is it? If you step on a crack, you'll break your mother's back.
Oh,
and he's literally stepping through the things. I don't understand this at all.
So the original Daredevil show, how many seasons is it?
Was it
I think it was
3?
Three seasons. So
now the thing is, this
go ahead.
pretends that it's related to that. It isn't.
Mm-hmm.
It's as related to that
3.
as it is to She-Hulk and Echo, which is we talk about it for a second and then we move on as if it's our own show. Completely ignores the lore. It doesn't make sense in a time period. But it's almost trying to harvest that goodwill without committing to it.
Yeah, and it's not the same people, is it? Because the original one was Netflix.
Yeah. Yeah, because Netflix, they had...
So the main actor's the same for Daredevil, but he's also been the same in Echo. And
No. I mean the people who are making it.
Oh, the people who were making it originally was Netflix.
They brought back some people from Netflix.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know how many exactly.
Yeah.
Because
right.
this originally was an entirely different show. It was going to be a comedy. It was going to be more like She-Hulk. And And then even Disney saw it and were like, this is awful.
No.
And so they just canned it. There was 7 episodes or something already filmed. They got rid of it, tried to work it into this a bit, but went from scratch. They got 2 people from the original series as actors to come back in. I think they got some of the writers and stuff as well, but I'm not sure about that.
And the original one's 3 seasons, is there a concluding arc, a complete arc? Or it's one of those shows that ends with something unresolved? Because I hate that.
It's been a while since I watched, but I'm pretty sure that it was. They concluded it. They didn't leave it.
Right.
As far as I can remember, the chat. Remind me, because it has. I think it was 2015 when the last season dropped. So I watched it once through, and that was it.
Yeah, I
so
think there was advice that it got cancelled, but it was.
But it was because of the. Well, yeah, I think it was the reason it was canceled was because Disney was purchasing Marvel and that whole thing. Yeah.
It's like Stargate. I think Stargate got cancelled just because it fell through the cracks. There was a merger went on and it just didn't get renewed because there was no one to renew it.
Oh, it was 2018.
Doesn't it suck? Yeah. Doesn't it suck when you invest like dozens of hours in a show and it's like it ends with stuff like it doesn't conclude.
Yes.
It doesn't.
Cliffhanger, but not an important one.
I think it's going to happen to Severance. And From. There's lots of mystery box series where you're like, this is amazing. It's like, yeah, but we all thought that with Lost. We all saw what happened to Lost.
I never finished it. And then I ended up
Neither did they.
Something I know. It was, I forgot what it was. It was some comedy show I was watching where they spoiled the ending of Lost. And I didn't care because at that point I stopped watching it.
There is no ending to Lost.
But they said, not the ending, but like they said what actually was happening, right? I have to give it away. I don't want to ruin it for
glad
anybody.
Someone works it out.
I know.
The series doesn't tell you.
Yeah. I don't even remember how many seasons were there. I think maybe I watched 2. I think I watched 2. Yeah.
But that's something that throws me off of modern TV shows. What?
There's 6 series of Lost. And I think about 22 episodes in each season.
Wow, I was under the impression there was more.
But like
anyway. But that's something that throws me off of modern TV shows, because back then when you had the Monster of the Week format, it was much more enjoyable. Like just for you to enjoy one episode, and you can miss a couple, and it wouldn't matter. The next time you will go back to it, you could enjoy it just the same. But because of the format now, that it's just the nature of the business, you have to always have something to look forward to the next season, and that the show never ends. Even when the show ends, there's like something that's untied.
They always want to bring stuff back too, like Supernatural.
Yeah,
you know,
with
they
the hopes
bring
of bringing something back.
Yeah, but Supernatural's a good example.
They had enough.
Yeah, but Supernatural
X-Files too, yeah.
Monster of the Week with an overarching plot.
They did it right.
Series or multiple series.
Yes, both X-Files and Supernatural did that tremendously
Yeah, there was still a reason
Buffy
to come back,
too.
and that's how you're supposed to do it. Like Stargate. Stargate was something of the week, but also had overarching universal spanning plots that expanded over time. There's a
Star
way to
Trek
do it.
New Generation. Yeah. The Next Generation.
On the topic of Supernatural, the creator of the show, this was something I found out recently that I had no idea, and it actually makes sense. I watched all of it. I enjoyed all of it. But after season 5, because they had that huge fight like with the devil in season 5, right? Like that's how that one ended. That was the peak, because that's when the writer, the creator, wanted it to end. And he was like, they were like, no, we want more. And he was like, no, he didn't care about the money. He was like this was his, brainchild. He loved it. He's like, this is where it's ending. So if you want to continue it, you're going to have to continue it without me. So they did, and they went for 10 more freaking seasons.
Yeah.
What else do you fight after fighting the fucking devil?
I know.
The black goo.
I know.
I hated that entire season. You're just fighting black goo that you fight with bleach. I'm like, we've just fought the devil. There was the archangels versus the demons. It was amazing. And then even sort of, they went from demons being threatening to, we just stab them with a sword now. And they die. Oh, great. They were just people at that point.
Yeah.
And it was like, no, these are really strong. It's like, well, you're also as strong as them. That Sam got stronger over time somehow, and now they could just punch demons in the face, and they're supposed to be superhuman beings. It was.
And like they're not Buffy, okay? They aren't the chosen ones. They just to just hunt
So
demons.
weird.
It is
yeah,
weird.
that's something just of the nature of the business of TV shows that they just have to keep going, and it sucks. That's why sometimes I much prefer movies or sagas, like franchises that are more than one movie, because it's that there has a defined arc that ends.
Yeah.
I definitely
need to-
prefer TV series, but when they're well made. There are some things I don't know if you've seen Person of Interest, but Person
No,
of
I
Interest has both. Oh, you need to watch it. It's amazing. It's about essentially an AI helps this guy solve crimes. That's how it starts. So it starts
that's right.
Monster of the Week. It is just the AI and a guy helping this guy just go around and punch people in the face and just help people. But over the series, it expands, and every series escalates. So you get more and more kind of tension, and it gets more dramatic, while also keeping that of the week kind of situation. And so, because it expands and then ends when you get to we can't expand it anymore, the entire series feels complete as if it was planned out from the start.
Cool.
I actually
Interesting.
So I was going to do a video on this. I still might, because I have not gone on my rant about them bringing Buffy back. That's my favorite show, and I'm not happy. It's not that they're doing a reboot; they're continuing it, and I don't want it to happen.
Yeah,
They're
Sarah Michelle Gellar is going to be
it's going to be awful.
probably
So
a
I'm
daughter
probably
or
going
something,
to.
isn't it?
I don't know. I'm going to do
I
a
imagine.
video, but it's not just going to be about Buffy, and so I'll talk about it a bit here since we're on this topic. I think it's more of an American thing too, where they don't let it end. They care more about the money and not the story that they're telling. So they'll keep bringing it back even when it should have ended. Like they don't care about the legacy of shows or movies. Like look at what they did with Star Wars. There's so much story that you could tell there that's good story, but not only are they taking what was already a good story and trashing it, like the whole Anakin's not the chosen one anymore because witches could just make a Force baby. Like it's a slap in the face to the original.
I thought you said
This-
horse baby. I was like, wait, what? I haven't
This
seen
Force
that.
is not.
Yeah,
No,
but Mr.
but-
Hands has returned.
But like my big problem with Buffy is I would rather them just do a reboot. It would be awful, but they're not. They're taking what was already done and continuing it. And I'm like, leave it alone.
I
because
don't
Buffy,
really-
I would
really have a
prefer a
problem
reboot.
with companies going after money, because I always think that if you make the best story you can, you will make the best money anyway. So money aligns with what the audience wants. The problem at the moment is they're trying to shortcut it. So they're trying to go for the money, the
It's
easy
Yeah.
route, rather than
lazy
doing it
money.
properly.
Yeah, they're after lazy money.
And they don't realize
Yeah.
that doesn't work. Well, it does work, but it works when you're at your peak, and then you take advantage of that goodwill and you drive it into the ground, and it doesn't work anymore. And they're just still trying to drive further and further
they
into
keep
the ground
resurrecting
because they
already-
don't know how to do anything else.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
know who always does that? Eon Productions with James Bond movies. Always the first James Bond movie of a certain era with a certain actor is always the best, and then it goes falling in quality. It was that way with Craig. It was that way with Pierce Brosnan. It was that way with most of them. It's crazy. They really put some effort into something because it's the first impression. They need to earn the trust of the fans, and then once they have it, it's like the lazy money, the shortcut. It's always like that.
Yeah, they don't. That's what I mean. Like they don't care about the legacy. It's like if you don't have a good story to tell, let it die and write something new. But they're lazy.
The
So-
interesting thing about that is specifically Craig.
I just keep seeing horse baby.
Horse.
Well, that's what I heard, horse baby.
Horse.
But with Craig, I do think they had an arc, and I think they completed it properly, because that it was just their arc there was deliberately awful because it was to deconstruct Bond.
Deliberately awful.
And so they did plan that one out. It's like, we need to, because Barbara Broccoli was really into that. She's
I
like,
still
no,
can't believe that's
I want
her
to expand
name.
his emotions. We need to. She thought that
Isn't
was deep,
broccoli
when
or
actually it's
something?
shallow.
We say
talking about your
broccoli here.
emotions is you
Brock.
don't get any shallower than just looking internally at yourself. That's about as basic as you can get. But she thinks that's the complexity of Bond. And
Yeah,
so for
but
her,
that's
turning him into
crazy
a woman was deep.
because she
Speaking of
did
that-
good Bond movies as well. Wasn't she involved in GoldenEye too? I think she was.
Yes, but she was involved with Bond even before that.
Really?
But she got more power, and then she came on board properly with GoldenEye. And then as time went on, I think the issue is, as time goes on, you get more and more power as sort of solidify yourself. So
Yeah,
she
yeah.
came in as a new person, took over there, but other people have been making these things, so you'd probably defer to them a bit. And what I think after GoldenEye, every film got worse. I am not a fan of Casino Royale. No, a lot of people are.
I didn't watch those ones. I need to. There's a lot of Bond movies I need to watch.
I'm reading the book for the first time.
Oh.
The first James Bond book is Casino Royale. I'm reading it.
How is it?
It's awesome.
Okay.
It's great. It's very serious, much more serious. I would say like a Timothy Dalton Bond. You know, those two movies were very dark, very serious, but the books are even more dark and serious than Timothy Dalton's Bond.
Does a guy crushes dangly bits in that one?
Crushes what?
Is dangly bits.
Yes, actually, yes.
He's like, wait a minute, can you repeat that?
That's a very that's the one where that happens. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ouch. Well, speaking of that, Disprue sent this right before before we went live.
This is dumb, man.
They played 1 billion. I didn't know that. Oh.
Yes. Well, it's because they even employed one thing that came out before is Amazon actually employed someone they called the Barbara Whisperer. Because they couldn't get us to do anything they wanted. She just said no.
Broccoli Whisperer. That sounds better. Like, I'm sorry, it's broccoli. When you said that Care Show, that was hilarious.
It's broccoli. I'm almost sure it's broccoli.
That's what Gary says, but I don't. I see this as. I don't know if you've ever seen Keeping Up Appearances.
Just say broccoli's funnier.
Keeping Up Appearances is a British comedy show about this woman called Mrs. Bucket. But she thinks she's well-to-do and she wants to appear like she's some kind of posh woman. So no, actually, it's bouquet. It's bouquet. It's obviously bucket. That is obviously broccoli. And you just want to sound posh rather than calling yourself broccoli. It's like being called Mrs. Asparagus. You'd be like, no, actually, it's asparagus. And you're like, no, it isn't.
Yeah.
But so when Jeff Bezos read that I can't even say Barbara now.
It's broccoli. Yeah.
Baba.
Just say broccoli. She doesn't even have a first name. It's just broccoli.
This was a leaked report that happened ages ago where it said that she called them like effing idiots. They didn't know what they were doing. She thought they were awful. There was even it came out that Amazon, when they were doing their Road to 1 Million, said, I don't think Bron's a hero. And apparently the entire room went silent. So I'm sorry. I don't think James Bond is a good guy, and I don't think he's a hero.
Wait,
And
broccoli
the
said
people
this?
No, it's Amazon. But you can understand why it pissed off Barbara. Like, she
Yeah.
didn't hate Bond. She just wanted Bond to be more effeminate. Whereas it seems like Amazon don't like Bond. They don't think he's a hero.
They completely want to deconstruct
the whole
It's gonna be
the
awful.
character, and it's part of the modern trope of deconstructing male heroism in general.
Yes. Well, that was one of the things.
Totally.
Like being a womanizer and everything were all things that they didn't like. But it seems that Jeff didn't know any of this, and so he reads the article that we read completely. You think they all know about it? No, he found that they thought you're all effing idiots, and just said, I don't care what it costs, get rid of her.
Yeah.
And paid $1 billion on the basis of one slanderous article. Oh yeah, this is my favorite thing, a Moneypenny series.
That's
spin-off.
retarded, man.
Yes.
That's absolutely retarded. She's like,
A secretary.
she's nothing.
She's not even a Bond girl, right?
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
She's barely a Bond girl. Barely.
Yeah, because, well, she isn't a Bond. She's just the secretary. The greatest, most difficult challenge Moneypenny's ever had is trying to sleep with James Bond.
Yeah, it's like the cool thing about those two characters, James Bond and Moneypenny, is like they never end up together. Like
No.
they flirt and everything happens, but at the same time nothing happens. It's that's the dynamics between them. And it's like now she's some sort of I don't know, main character.
This one, possibly a project with a female 007. Who do you think that they would cast? Like, off the top of your head, both of you. I'm just curious of not who you want. It's Amazon.
Well,
who do you think they
Elliot
would
Page.
cast?
Yes.
Oh, he's thinking just like yes.
Yes. Well, we can have both, right? If we cast Elliot Page as the
Yes,
next
we
James
have
Bond, we
both.
can have both.
Exactly.
Everyone can be happy.
We tick multiple boxes with
Yeah,
Elliot
we
Page.
have a twofer.
Chat
Just
saying-
make-
Like buy one, get one
Just
free.
make
Yeah.
Elliot Page. Just make Elliot Page black and bingo.
Yeah, black.
You have it.
They could
Well,
just
this is the
hire
thing, look-
Cynthia Erivo, or however you say her
With
name.
the new Harry Potter casting, I think we finally have to accept the question of what is wrong with blacking up in the first place. Because apparently it's fine. Everybody can just swap to it whenever they want.
No, that's...
Oh man, you know what Amazon has to do? They have to call Disney, whoever has the Fox movies, and make The Rock with Sean Connery officially a canonical Bond movie. That's what Amazon has to do. That's the only thing I want from Amazon, having the James Bond rights. Make The Rock a canon James Bond movie.
Please,
Look,
for Dan.
Amazon might make The Rock James Bond. might actually hire The Rock.
That'd be a better choice than what they would
He comes
probably
out of
go with.
Jumanji into Bond. It's like, wait.
It's already a
who-
Bond movie in my mind.
Is there who would you want to be Bond now, Dan? Like
Henry
guy,
Cavill, obviously.
Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
My pick is actually Richard Madden. I think he'd be great. He was in
Who is he?
okay, so he's best known for Game of Thrones. He was the young wolf, the younger brother that got killed at the Red Wedding.
I don't remember
Hold on, let me
anything
pull
from
up
Game of
picture.
Thrones. That's an interesting phenomenon. Because I know a lot of people who forgot everything about Game of Thrones. It's
Oh,
almost
because
like
it was so much.
no, it's almost like a trauma thing, like where your mind like just erases stuff. My mind erased the Game of Thrones.
I think the perfect James Bond would be Warwick Davis in Sydney Sweeney's tits.
Hey,
So, like, she's carrying him around inside them, and people are just looking, and then they notice, like, a little guy in the middle of them. And just as they notice him, they're like, is that a... And then he shoots him in the face.
oh, I see.
Yeah, he
Sure-
sneak
yeah.
him into anywhere.
Is he British?
Scottish.
Scottish, even better.
Yeah.
How
He-
old
he
is
get-
he?
I think he's like 40. He's not too old. So he can still play the role for a bit. Like, I think he's really got the look, and he's not like too... I'm sure he probably would beef up a bit for the role.
The
but
issue
he's
is there any
regular,
other...
not like...
Is there anything with him in, like, a suit and shaved, or does he always have the scruff?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he has to be
hair.
shaved.
No,
He's-
look,
he-
that's scruff. That is...
Oh.
Yeah, James Bond
Well,
shaves.
Hold on, Richard Madden, Cinderella. It's Prince Charming, but he's gonna be shaved. He was in the Cinderella. Here we go. Like they make him look more like Prince Charming, right? But there he is shaved. I
Yeah,
mean,
because you
Okay.
have to come across
So
as the
scruff.
posh English gentleman.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, this is like he's all Disneyfied and Prince Charming, so it's
Yeah,
not
he's
like
very young
suave,
there,
but
yeah.
and he's younger there too. Yeah, I think he'd be a good choice. Like I'm not opposed to Cavill. I think he might be too beefy for the role, but that's just me being picky.
Oh yeah, yeah. James Bond was always like more functional, strong.
Yeah, like he was fit, but not like.
He's not a bodybuilder. But
Yeah.
I still think you could get away with it. I think it'd still be believable just because you're like, well, you know, someone doing that role being muscular wouldn't be a disadvantage.
Yeah, I mean, it would pull people in. Plenty of women love Henry, so
I think if you make films for men, the women will be interested anyway. I think it doesn't work the other way around. 'cause you end up
yeah,
with rom-coms
that's
and
true.
stuff.
Guys like Henry too. I mean, I've seen a
It's
lot
like,
of
is
men.
there a female?
pick
He's
him.
awesome.
Is there sort of an IP which would be the female equivalent of Star Wars that men are interested in? I don't think there is.
What do you mean? Something for women,
I
but
mean,
that
like,
men watch?
The big IPs like Star Wars, Star Trek are more masculine IPs, but women are interested in them as well.
Yeah.
Is there an alternate version where it's like
Something made for women, but men go like, huh?
Yeah, I mean,
Interesting.
maybe things like Downton Abbey.
Maybe things like reality shows.
Yeah, because there's always like reels, right? You see of like a guy's like in the other room and the girl's watching it, and he's like watching. She sees him like,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like getting into it because
the
it's
thing
so
Reality,
for me
yeah,
is,
reality shows with hot women.
Oh, yeah,
was
what
it?
about-
the,
what
the
about
Undateables
Charlie's,
and stuff?
Charlie's
That's
Angels.
what gets me.
What about that?
Yeah, makes sense.
A load of attractive women go around shooting people in the face. Definitely
Yeah.
aimed at men. I mean, it just
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like,
that's
if
made
they're
for
all
men.
like middle-aged, single, fat moms, then yeah, that would not be aimed at the bloke.
Yeah,
But if they're all
then-
like
then
cat
it's for
suits,
women.
then-
No, that's true. That's aimed for men. But no, I think like maybe soap operas with boobs.
It's like telenovelas.
Yeah.
really dramatic ones. Yeah.
Because that's what gets me with what's it called, The Handmaid's Tale and everything. Like, I can't believe that men would do this to us. It's like, you're the only ones watching it. No man watches that show at all.
Sorry, I gotta pull this up because it's really funny that they made him look like. Well, I see Dr. Evil because I grew up with Austin Powers, but
Dr. Evil.
Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
It is great art. Yeah.
It is. I had to pull it up.
Well, Barbara's actually said this before, though. People said, "Are you ever going to make new Bond villains which are sort of more modern for our time?" She went, "I've already done them. I've already done Bezos in a movie. I've already." One of the villains was literally the media owner in the UK. He owns like all the TV and newspapers, and so she just stuck him on a boat.
That was No Time. No.
It was the Brosnan one. I'm terrible with the names of the movies.
The second or third. Brosnan was GoldenEye. Die Another Day was the last one. What came after GoldenEye?
I'd have to find a
We'd have to
timeline. I don't
Google
know.
them.
Yeah, I don't know. That was probably
Tomorrow Never Dies. Tomorrow Never Dies. The chat said it. Yeah, that's right.
I
Chat
really like
always
the
knows.
sword fight in that movie, where it's like first blood wins, and then everyone else is like, "Can you nail down your testosterone, please?" Because they just escalate over time. He's like, "You punch me in the face. I'm going to use a sword."
Yeah, that was Die Another Day. Yeah, with the guy that doesn't sleep. It's the guy who made Captain Flint on that stupid Treasure Island show.
Oh, I don't remember. I don't know.
Black Flag.
Oh.
Yeah.
You said Treasure Island show. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Black Flag. That's who played him. The same actor.
Yeah, he was a Bond villain.
Yeah, that pirate show existed at the same time of I think it was Crossbones with John Malkovich, and I preferred the John Malkovich one, and it died because everyone watched the Black Flag one.
Bro, I hated Black Flag, but it had because
Black Sails. Black Flag's the game. Black Flag's the game. The Assassin's Creed.
Black Flag is Assassin's Creed. Those fucking pirate names. But Black Sails, I hated it precisely because it had so much cool potential, man. Like a prequel to Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson, a classic book with all those mysterious characters. There's so much that could be done. And at the beginning it was so good. But it's like the gay thing, man.
I know.
So forced.
The
So
first
fucking forced.
2 seasons were really well done.
Yeah.
For Black Sails, and you're right. I finished it because I'm like I started it. I'm gonna finish it.
I finished too. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're eventually gonna talk about it on the History of Pirates channel at some point. I think me, Jay, and Capable Jen are the only 3 that actually watched it though. But
the Blackbeard death scene.
And oh my gosh, I was watching it with headphones on too, so I heard everything very. Oh.
Have you watched it, Disparu?
I've seen it, yeah. But
the keel hauling.
Every time it comes up, I'm just like, Crossbones should have been renewed instead. I'm like bitter that one survived. It's like, no, I want to see John Malkovich's Blackbeard more.
But I liked Long John Silver. Wicked Mazza. Holy shit.
Oh my god. Oh, that is horrific.
Wow.
Looks like you've got downs.
You're not wrong. What have you done?
This is an abomination.
And she's like, hello.
Hello, guys.
And the weird thing is, I'm so used to your profile picture. When you go, what the heck? I just thought it was you. It was only when I read the name, I was like, I need to look more closely at the picture.
Oh, no.
But yeah, Long John Silver in that show, how they made him have that reputation of, oh, it's the one-legged man. Because I don't know if you guys read the book Treasure Island. I read it when I was a kid.
as a kid. I can't remember.
Yeah, it was like Long John Silver was like almost as feared as Captain Flint. Yeah. And I thought it was really cool how they showed how he got that reputation. Was cool, but
yeah, just
the woke thing just ruined it for me. I have very low tolerance for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, especially when it like they hype it up so well, and then it's just like they're like, you know what, we're gonna go. Boop.
Yeah. The ending was kind of rushed, to
I hate when they did the same thing to Game of Thrones. Brushing our
Billy Bones is way too young. He was way too young.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it depends
but-
when they're doing it. Like, Game of Thrones knew it was ending, but some shows are like filming the last season. It's like, oh, you're not getting renewed, right? And then they just rush through the next season that they already had planned in the few episodes. They don't really have a lot of choice. There was a show like that. What it was? I think everyone saw Into the Future for a year ahead into the future or something, but in the real time they all passed out, so there's a load of accidents and things, and that was like, it's gonna happen again. And then for the last few episodes they basically rushed through an entire season of solving the mystery of what happened, and like this entire series has been really slow up to this point, and then it just speeds through. It's like the entire series should have been like this. It would have been amazing.
Yeah, it's like you can always tell, oh, those guys were rushed or knew it wasn't going to be renewed or something like that.
Yeah, it's like they discovered the villain's base because they found a footprint in the sand somewhere, and then it's like, teleport over there in the next second. Like, wait, what?
Yeah.
We've solved the entire conspiracy because we found a footprint.
Solves it all. I'm gonna get to some of these super chats, and then we'll get on to another topic. We gotta do the pigeon thing. Maybe not the BBC pigeon. It's not what you guys think. It's a Brazilian pigeon thing, and it's real pigeons. Okay, just wait.
BBC pigeon is real pigeons.
That's who writes it.
They're the only people that can be reading it.
Max Musterman, thank you for the 5. A lesbian, a homosexual, and a dwarf walk into a podcast. Welcome to Saucy Saturdays. Wicked, have you played The Evil Within? Maybe you would like it. I have not, but I have heard of that game.
Evil Within, yeah.
That came out like 8 years ago or so, something like that.
More. It's already old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think probably 15 years ago.
Wow.
It's like it's a 360 era game.
Okay. So probably like maybe PS4, maybe PS3.
PS3, 360.
Okay, yeah.
I'd only judge games as old if Dan's willing to play them. The moment he's like, no, I can play this now, I'm like,
It's old.
Bro, this year the Xbox 360 turns 20.
Wow. So it's
How crazy
old
is
enough
that?
for you to start playing
Yeah,
the
he was like,
360.
I
Finally.
think 20 years is like, it's safe to call something retro if it's 20 years old. A lot of people disagree. A lot of people consider retro something fixed in a timeline, something fixed between the 80s and early 2000s. Only that is retro, no matter how much time passes. I think retro moves with time. I think 20 years...
It definitely has to move.
Yeah.
Because you can't have an early date on it either. Like, something from the 40s would 100% count as retro.
Yeah, you cannot have a lower threshold for retro.
Yeah. Because I think retro just means before, doesn't it? The word. So it wouldn't make sense if you're like, no, we're just going to stop here.
Yeah,
The
Yeah.
medieval times
retro,
on
vintage.
retro. Like, well,
Yeah, it's just old.
Yeah.
And old
I don't
stuff
like retro being
moves
20
on.
years, though, because then I'd be retro.
I'm
don't
a
wanna be
retro
retro.
now.
All of us.
You don't
yeah.
want to be retro.
We're retro. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm starting to come to a point where I'm feeling nostalgic for times where I was feeling nostalgic already for something else. So I catch myself talking to friends and like, hey, remember when we out of college we would like play those Super Nintendo games? So me being nostalgic when I was in college is already nostalgic for me. So it's like nostalgia inception.
It's catching up. Nostalgia inception. I like that. Mate, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. And Mongoose also gifted a membership. Thank you guys so much. Cajun Corey with I'm sure this is for Disparu for 5. My neighbor is mad at his wife for sunbathing nude. As for me personally, I'm on the fence. Didn't like that one.
I always like there used to be a collection of letters that people would write to
Oh,
the
what
council.
is that?
This is the only Treasure Island adaptation you need. This is the game, actually.
Yeah, I was saying because the games are you have your game case back there. I want
Yeah.
that. Can I borrow it? Can you mail it? I'm just kidding. Mail it. I'll get it in 2 weeks. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
No, it's very valuable.
He's like, no, I don't
It's
think
like, this
so.
is more valuable than you.
No, more
It's more
valuable.
valuable. Yeah, when a friend of yours asks for something, asks you to lend him
I'm gonna look
something,
it up.
and you say no, you say sorry. This is more valuable than our
Yeah,
friendship.
I value
But-
than our friendship. You could leave me now. I would still prefer this box.
It's fine. I'm looking
It's
it
a
up.
It's a point and click adventure game.
Oh,
And they got the original cast to film for it.
that's awesome. Let me see if I can find it.
It's awesome.
Oh, I did not in that
For the
cool
Windows
case,
95.
but- Wait a minute.
I remember buying a DOS game once.
I would like
I
to
had
have
no
it
idea
just for
what
the
DOS
decoration.
was and
Just put
couldn't
it up
play
in the
it.
back like you.
I wanted to play Imperium Galactica, and it was like, this isn't DOS. So I have no idea what that is.
So my first, I never had a proper DOS computer, but my first computer was a Windows 95, and up to Windows 98, I believe, Windows computers had DOS, just had a DOS mode on them. So I played
Well,
a lot of DOS games on my Windows 95 and 98.
Well, my issue was it would have been Windows 95, but I didn't know how to get into DOS mode. Didn't have access to the internet to Google it. And so I don't know what this is. Just said play it in DOS.
Yeah, I needed
Imperium
help from my
Galactica
dad.
2 was an incredible game, but couldn't play 1.
Yeah, nowadays you can use DOSBox, and you can also use something called ExoDOS.
I needed this 25 years ago.
Where were you
To me
25
now.
years ago, Hokies?
Where
We
were
needed
you?
Where were you?
Let me down. You need a time travel machine. And tell me 25 years ago when I might have cared.
I'm sure
That's
he'll
basically
work
where
on
I'm
that
going.
right away. That's gonna be top of his list.
But there was going back to the other super chat first. There was a collection of letters people wrote to the council, and one of them was, "Can you please come round and fix the crack in my drive because my wife fell over it last week and now she's pregnant."
Oh.
Yikes.
Like, well, that is one powerful crack in your drive, mate.
Oh my gosh. Amanda Allen, thank you for being a member for 6 months. Good evening, Wicked, Dan, X-Ray Disparu, and chat. Hi, Amanda. How are you?
Hi.
16-bit mascot for 5. Best Saturday show. Ahoy, Wicked, Mr. Vasc, and Disparu.
Ahoy.
Cheers, guys. I'll fill this out since I have more characters. Can you read the end of this, Disparu? I want to hear you say it.
Blubbity dubbity dib dub.
Something rather.
Something
There.
rather.
Oh wait, there was a space. I didn't know that was the same word.
Mark a reality for two continents and an island tonight.
Yeah.
America.
I don't get it.
Locations.
Okay, Dan's like, yeah, I don't get it though.
The UK. America.
Oh, I get it now. Okay, that
South
works.
America,
I was like-
North America,
It took a second. Sorry.
geography lessons.
It's been a long week, guys. Thank you for another
Wicked still
5
thinks she's
Mark.
an Aussie. Just like, wait.
Maybe. Apparently, I have Peter Pan syndrome because I've been seeing a hot blonde 26-year-old trucker chick.
Well, they always say you're only as old as the woman you feel.
Oh,
Hey, nice.
nice.
Then I'm
That's
That's what my dad
25
said
years
my
old.
entire life.
Made for 5. Have you guys seen the real life jackalopes? It's a growth caused by a virus.
No way,
Are
really?
you serious? Are we gonna have to Google this right now?
I'm
Yeah,
not
try to
googling
Google.
a virus growth. No,
Yeah, maybe.
I know
it's a
way too much about magical pictures to ever want to Google that.
Yeah, maybe it's a trap.
I have enough horror pictures.
Like
in
the
my
two
mind.
girls, one cup thing.
Yeah.
Never got me
it's
with
just
that.
ice cream. Oh shit.
Oh.
That's what they all say.
And blue waffles.
Yeah. It's what Mr. Hand said. Oh, it's all CGI.
That's a classic.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Then there was that guy that shoved a glass up there and it broke. And it's like, I know it's fake as I'm watching it. It doesn't help though.
Okay, I don't know if these
Yeah.
pictures are real, but we're gonna look.
What,
Then
Mr.
there was
Hands?
Lemon. Do you remember Lemon Party? People would say that in school. They're like, Google what Lemon Party is. Like, oh god.
Oh, that one I don't know.
You
Yeah, I
don't
don't
want to
know.
know. If you had a problem with
Okay,
black
good.
sails, you don't want to watch Lemon Party.
Okay, good.
Thanks for letting me know.
Thanks for the warning.
Then there was ones where it would come up, but it would also, it would take over your speakers, and it'd be like, this guy's watching Pran, and you're like, and then there would be an X that would jump around the screen as you tried to close it, and you would just tell your mates in IT lessons to go on the website.
The chat is asking if Mr. Hands is retro.
Yes, I think it's over 20 years.
Are you feeling nostalgic for Mr. Hands?
Those were the days.
Those were the days. What is Jay saying?
What? Oh my god.
Well,
he probably means you
have a
touch his
secret
heart.
handshake.
Don't
It's
get
something like that.
don't be perverted about it. He probably means he touches his heart because he loves his friend.
Jay does a morning show every day.
If someone touches your heart, the only question is how
It
did they
really his voice. Now you know when you have a habit in the morning that you do always and starts triggering your bowel movements.
That's not where I thought that was going.
Like the smell of coffee, for example. Like you feel the smell of coffee and it's like, oh,
That would be no. You don't want that.
I gotta poop.
No, you don't want that at all, because then you go to the office and someone just making coffee. You're like, oh,
No, it
crap.
just happens, and it just happens. Something that you
Don't
do every
drink-
morning before pooping, and every time you that happens again,
No,
then
I-
you feel
I'm
like
against-
pooping again. No,
I think if
that happens
there are
to
people
me.
that take their phone into the bathroom. I think you're a filthy degenerate if you do. Like, and you
Oh,
need
yeah.
to see a doctor, right? Like, if you can read an article in the bathroom, there's something wrong with you. You need help.
And your phone gets disgusting. But
Yes.
yeah, something that's starting to trigger my bowel movements is Jay's voice, because I listen to his show every
Jay
morning.
makes me crap myself.
So I listen to
No.
Jay's show every morning, and his voice is really soothing, and
It's really deep. It
it helps me
deep
poop.
into your core and like loosens everything up.
yeah, it's like I
The
bet I'm
bass.
not the only one. The chat can back me up here. I know
I
a
don't
lot
think the
of
chat
people.
gonna back you up on this.
A
I think
lot
you're on
of
your own.
people. No, a lot of people had told
don't
me
know.
that they poop
Jay-
while listening to Jay.
A lot of people tell me Jay makes me crap myself.
A lot of people have told me that they poop
the
listening
meetups.
to Jay's show.
At the meetups, everyone like lines up to meet him, but he's the only guy that Isline is in the bathroom. It's like,
No.
thank you for meeting. I immediately go into a cubicle.
Sorry, I gotta go.
That's how he keeps his line going
yeah.
at pace. Like no one could talk to me for 30 seconds without needing to go to the toilet.
So yeah, Jay's voice is a very important part of my
a
morning
laxative.
routine. Yeah.
Well, you know what? Speaking of Jay, I'm gonna drop a link, guys. The
If
Vindicta merch.
if ever you're
Hey, hey,
constipated,
hey,
has she got the channel for you?
No. The Vindicta merch is still up. I think it's gonna be down like tomorrow or Monday or something like that. But if you guys, you've heard us talking about it on streams, and even Disparu has talked about how much he likes Nine Line. So here,
Oh, 9line are awesome. Yeah.
Yeah,
They
it's great.
have a
They
bundle right
legitimately
now.
have the best merch.
They have bundles.
And I
I
wish
bought-
other people had that quality, to be honest.
I bought.
yeah, it
I know
feels
it's
great.
great.
They have the
It
best
does.
shirts.
Well, they have a bundle right now. They have buy one get one with a shirt. I already bought everything like 2 weeks ago when it first dropped. It hasn't been 2 weeks, it's been like a week. But now they have all these deals. You can get there's also a deal with a shirt and a hat. So yeah, if you guys
This
are
is what makes me
interested, and
laugh.
it also helps veterans. So
Well, this is what makes me laugh. People are like, oh, Disparu's, it's really nice that he supports veterans. I'm like, no, I'm not that selfless. I buy it because it's good, high quality merchandise.
Yeah.
Not for the
Entirely
veterans.
for selfish
That's
reasons.
just like a side thing that just happens without me.
Oh
I
yeah,
am-
I help
I'm at
veterans.
no point
yeah.
am I that selfless.
there, I dropped it. I don't even know if Jay's still here, but there you go. We can get off the poop talk. Just the way that I'm sorry,
You
but
just brought it up.
the way
Like,
Dan
oh,
says
we need
it
to
is
talk about his bowel
the way
movements
Dan
again.
says it is funny.
I was just cheering my friend Jay up.
Yeah, I'm sure it made him smile.
Yeah.
That's the wind.
Jay says thank you.
Same thing that happens with babies.
You're welcome. I don't know if he's saying thank you to me or Dan, but you're welcome from both of us. Buddy Pale Chief,
There's
big
just
guy for
someone
10.
really happy in the bathroom right now. It's like, I'm
You can't
really
hear
glad
it.
he was
You
mentioned.
can't.
Yeah.
But you can't hear Jay.
Maybe it's just his
You know what?
name.
We're gonna get off
Maybe
this
the moment you say his
topic
name,
right now.
it's like in Peter Pan, where if someone says they don't
He's
believe in
happy.
fairies, a fairy dies. But well, with Druk 3PO, when someone mentions his name, there's always someone crapping in the world somewhere. Like, thank you.
Yeah. Someone has to run to the bathroom.
Solved a problem.
Yes.
He's saving lives.
Buddy Pal Chief, big guy for 10. Can't stay. Gotta go. Hook 'em. Thank you so much.
That's because he heard drunk 3PO mentioned. He's like, I've got to go.
I gotta go quick.
Quick.
In Brazil, we have an expression: the vulture is packing the undies.
Oh yeah. My favorite is if you
vulture
need to
is
pee.
packing my undies.
You know, when some people are like, I need to go to the powder room or something. My favorite is I need to siphon the python.
Siphon the python. I think you told me about that. It's awesome. Amanda's still thinking about the vulture one.
I don't understand. Lexicon Hellhound for 5. Just Brew, you're right about Daredevil. It's a show for women. Never give up, never give in.
I just
look at that.
It's not that it's a show for women. It's that
it's an emotional show.
It's not on biological lines. It's more temperament. Like, do you care about feelings?
It's
or
how
do you care
women.
About...
It's how women think.
Yes, there are
It's
lots
women,
of Californians
it's what
that
women,
love it.
Yeah. It's what women and Californians think men are interested in.
Yeah. Duppy Ryder, thank you for the 5. There's no worse movie than Mickey
It's
17.
awful.
Anybody who says different needs to be evaluated by a psychiatrist. Sauce is a focus in the movie.
Also,
Sauce.
everybody keeps saying that the main actor is amazing. He isn't. He's trash.
Robert Pattinson.
The first thing I ever seen him in, and he's
Is
awful.
it Robert Pattinson? Right?
Yeah, he acts like a retard.
Really?
Like, maybe he's actually incredibly smart, and he's actually some kind of Mensa genius, and he's lowering himself down to the level of 75 IQ.
I wanted to see that. I mean, I might still just make the judgment myself, but
I need to save the world. It's like that the entire movie. Oh. And it is what's his name? Mark Ruffalo. He is a Trump allegory the entire way through. There's even a scene where he's like, I like my rock, my big, beautiful, shiny rock. And then the camera pans across the audience to a load of people in red hats. Red baseball
wow.
caps.
Really? Is that on the nose?
Well, it's that on the nose to the point where he's like, I need to make, or like they go to another planet to colonize it. It's like, I need to make a pure colony. Only the purest genetics can be on this colony. Like, this spaceship is incredibly diverse.
The people who wrote this, they feel like such geniuses. They probably felt that this was so fucking smart.
They were really doing something.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make sense, right? Because if you wanted it as a Trump allegory, and he wants to make a pure colony, like a supreme colony, the entire way through is we're on a spaceship going a long way away, so every single gram on this spaceship matters. They're always about food and calories. So, and they handpicked every single person to be on this ship. This ship is incredibly diverse for someone that's a massive race. It doesn't make any sense why you even choose them to be on the ship in the first place.
Now that you're mentioning that, isn't that the plot for Moonraker? The James Bond movie?
Been a while since I've seen it. It's the one with Jaws, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the first one with Jaws. It's the plot of the Moonraker. Yeah, they were trying to explode Earth, and they would go to this space station with like the purest people. And then when Earth was all destroyed, they would go back and recreate humanity. That was the plot.
I don't think it's a bad plan. At least 90 IQ. Let's just do it with people over 90 IQ and just start again.
You think that's what Elon's gonna try and do with Mars?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, why do you think he's having so many kids? It's just going to be his family on Mars.
What if the smartest one ends up being the one that told Trump to shut up, shut your mouth? That's going to be the
smartest
genius.
one is the one that's like, why are you going to Mars? It's like, whoa. It turns out that his entire legacy has been a lie, and his kid's like, hang on, that's a mistake.
Why Mars?
We need to go to the bottom of the ocean instead. It'll be amazing.
That's true, yeah. We know less about the bottom of the ocean than we know about the moon.
Oh, it's way harder to explore, just because of the density. It works backwards. So the further down you go, the less windows and stuff you can have because you have to focus on just having big, thick sheets of everything. So you even if you go down there, you don't have the tools to sense it anymore. So
yeah, you don't know what the hell's going on.
And every time that I've heard them go, well, life can obviously only exist at this level, they go a bit deeper and there's more life. So
some fucking ugly fish or something. Yeah.
like completely transparent,
when you
making
go-
their own light and stuff.
The fish are very creepy. Like the lower you get in the ocean, it's like that
Yeah.
exists. I don't want to go in the ocean ever again. That's in there.
Because it's so dark, they don't have to. It's not a problem being ugly.
Well, I mean, that's
They don't
not
have to be
that
pretty
rare,
fish.
though. That's the same reason I don't want to go to Portland. So you don't have to go to the ocean to experience that.
That was a good one.
Lots of ugly people.
Yeah, it's just like loads of genetic dead ends all over the place. Like, how on earth did this thing
Dead
exist?
Okay, let me get a few more super chats and then we'll jump to another topic because I always fall behind, especially when we have a guest and we start giggling and talking about random stuff. Marker Reality, thank you for
She's
another
saying
5.
that you made her late by pooping. That's what happened there.
Oh my
Sorry.
The two-
Happens a lot, unfortunately.
The two best superheroes are Daredevil.
Anytime that Dan is on a
Attorney.
stream with drunk
It's off the
3PO,
rails, yeah.
and
Oh,
you just
yeah.
see Dan go. People are, hang on, what's happening there? It's his
Now you
voice,
know.
I can't help it.
Now you know. Suddenly my camera turns off.
Be right
There's
back.
just a hole in the bottom of his chair. He swaps chairs out for the ones with the hole when he's on a stream with him. Like, it's gonna be a long day.
Can just wear diapers. They should make gamer diapers.
Yeah, but
They're called-
the
they
diapers
have
don't
adult
help
diapers,
with that,
Dan. They're
though,
called
because they
Depends.
just smear it up here. It works with
Aw.
babies because it's basically liquid anyway.
Yeah.
But for humans, that'd be awful.
Sorry, chat. Sorry.
Hey,
You
look,
guys-
we
I
need to
can
know
just eat
this.
more fiber.
We are gonna hit with that. Fiber makes it worse. You need to eat less fiber.
Oh no, it's the opposite. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, we're all gonna. I think this is one of the benefits of being, when you're like 80, you can go into a home and then just crap yourself.
Yeah. Nobody
Someone else
cares
looks
because
after you.
you're 80.
Yeah. That way I can live the gamer dream. I'm actually quite looking forward to being old.
Yeah.
I can go into a home, game all day, and someone else can wipe me.
Let's go. Be 80 years old, game, and shit our pants.
It's like, oh, there's no way you're gonna game when you're over 25.
This
What are you
happened
doing? It's like, you
all-
should see me when I'm a pensioner.
This happened all because Jay just came in the chat pretty much and said hi. And now it's off the rails. Thanks, Jay.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to buy a new chair.
The two
Oh,
best
man.
superheroes are Daredevil, a criminal defense attorney, and Punisher, a former U.S. Marine. They're good. I do love both of those superheroes. Llama Pajamas for 2. Last TV show that I watched, beginning to end, was Sons of Anarchy. Walking Dead lost me when they wouldn't kill Negan. F that guy. So I never got into Walking Dead. I think I watched like the majority of the first season when it first dropped, and I was just like, Sons of Anarchy though. That was yes.
I
watched
like
all of.
Negan.
I loved Sons of Anarchy.
I do
watched the
agree
f-
with you that everything Negan did, he kind of needed to for his story. But I like him as a character.
I watched the first three seasons of Walking Dead, and it started to become so nihilistic.
Yeah.
Like you could expect everyone cool to die. Like it started to become super predictable. Like, oh, I like this character. Oh
Yep.
shit.
That's actually one of the most commonly brought up things about Negan. Is Negan's introduction results in the two best characters dying. And it's like, well, everyone liked these people. They were the best characters and just wiped them out.
Yeah.
I think the first two were the best. I think the first is the best. And after that, it went from being a zombie series into we're just going to whine about our feelings all the time. The
Yeah,
series.
very soap opera.
And again, rather
yeah.
than looking outwards at the ideas of how do we deal with zombies and how does this affect like society, culture, philosophy, it just turns inwards and everyone's like, I'm miserable, I'm upset, I want to give birth, but I can't here because I want to have a baby. I just like, oh, just shut up. I don't want to hear you
Exactly.
whining. And if you start whining, I want you to go over and be eaten by a zombie for my entertainment.
Yeah.
That's the only use you are at that point.
Without even watching the show, I can agree with that because all the clips that were taken, like of oh my gosh, Rick, was that the main character that was just always crying like Carl, like all those.
Coral got shot in the face, and I celebrated. It was my favorite moment in the show, and then he pissing survived. It's like I
Sorry.
hated that guy. That guy was the worst character in the entire show. He gets shot in the face. You can imagine my excitement, and then he survives getting shot in the face.
Yeah, it started to
Sorry.
become like the worst, the opposite of the resolutions that you wanted to see. Like the cool people all died, and the annoying people all survived talking about their feelings.
There's just ever increasing
I
diversity.
heard too.
And it's like, wait, these are the last people that you would want in a zombie apocalypse is people that don't breed, right? If we're gonna recreate society, then we don't want more and more people that don't breed. Otherwise, you're gonna have to come up, like, and this is one of the things it never handled, right? So what do you do in a situation where you need to repopulate the Earth, but you actually don't like blokes? Like, that's something that you can play with as if, oh, well, actually, I don't want to, but it's my duty to. But that's the kind of question you could never be able to ask in a modern-day TV show. Be like, well, no, obviously it's just wrong to ask them in the first place. Like, is it? And they even kind of do that in Mickey 17, but don't go into it. It's just kind of raised, and then she tries to go with a bloke, and then the next thing, the story moves on without talking about it anyway, and she's just with a woman again. Like, well, that was actually an interesting idea that you just ignored. And I think that's one thing that's missing now. It's why people are like, well, it's simple. They don't think about ideas anymore. It's all about feelings all the time.
Yeah. Having to breed with people that you hate. There are some people who get a kick from having sex with people that they hate.
I don't understand that. The whole hate fucking thing. It's like I hate self-service checkouts. I kind of understand. Right? But at no point have I been standing at a self-service checkout like,
I'm going to step back
You're never going to guess what I'm going to do to you. I'll give you an unexpected item in the baggage area.
The boys go.
Like, this isn't something
it's like... There has never been like such an annoying chick that you looked at her and said, still would.
No, but that's entirely different. Because like hate doing it is like I
see
hate
what
you
you
so
mean.
much that I want to, and I'm like, no, it's not.
I see what you mean.
I can lower my standards to your level.
I don't think it's lower. I don't think it's lowering standards. I think it's separate standards, especially for men. I don't think, oh, okay, I'll fuck you. I think it's like, sure, I'll fuck you, but don't talk to me afterwards.
Yeah, it's still lowering standards because like I don't want to, but you're also attractive enough that I would.
Do you
think... I'll lower my standards in the personality bit, but not the looks bit kind of thing. You're still lowering somewhere.
Depends on your goal. Depends on what you want to do with her. If you just want to fuck her, then I think it's separate standards. But if you want to have a date with her, for example, then I think you're right. It's lowering the standards. But if it's just fucking, hey, just show up to my home, we'll fuck, and
yeah, but
goodbye.
none of this is to do with hate. Hate is like I despise you. I hate everything that you are, and I want to do it. It's like I want to do it because I despise you. That's what that is.
Right,
which I think
right.
is an entirely different thing.
Do you think
I've never hated somebody so much that it turned me on. That is weird.
Do you think?
Yeah, but some people have that.
Oh, it's like quite common, I think.
Do you think it's like a passion thing, right? Because like when you get passionate, when you feel hate towards something or someone, and if it's like someone that's actually attractive, like here's an example: the Notebook movie. I'm a girl, and that's one of my favorite movies.
Never seen the Notebook. Never seen the Pianist.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. It's a girl. It's a chick. Like it's the one with Ryan Gosling and Rachel McAdams. It was very popular. I love that movie. But they ended up dating for a few years. In the beginning, though, they hated each other. During filming, the director had to put them in a room and have them like scream at each other to work out their differences, and then they dated for 3 years, or 2-3 years.
A lot of
what were they doing when they were screaming in a room alone together? It's like,
it's none of my business.
There's like they're having a fight in their Italian. There's lots of banging.
There's a lot of sexual tension and flirting that comes out as just like I want to be annoying to that person. It happens. Like
I think
a lot of women do that. When they're trying to flirt with you, and for some reason they're just annoying. They act annoying to you. Amanda's laughing. She has done that.
And I
bet she's done that.
She was like, there was experience behind her laugh. That was like, that's what I've done that before.
Of course.
I like that guy. Let's go annoy him.
Yeah.
It's like,
she was pulling his pigtails.
I was just gonna say, boys do the same thing. Like when they like a girl and they tease them on the playground. But
I've done that.
He's like, I beat up a girl at the playground once. It was fine. We dated for a couple of years.
There was brain matter on the street. It was...
Oh my God. Okay, a couple more super chats, and then we're gonna go into the next topic. Andrew Matthews, thank you for the two.
Like, we need to move on. If we are beating up people in the street, we need to move on.
Willow was the best Disney show ever. Brew agrees.
100%. It's one of the best series of television ever made.
Didn't they get rid of it?
Yeah.
Yes, they deleted it. It survived about 4 weeks on Disney Plus and got yeeted off the platform. It's one of the only things that might be the only new one that got yeeted. The rest had always been on there for a while.
That's embarrassing. That's freaking embarrassing.
I think it was because the residuals and stuff were probably so expensive. They saw the tax gain they could have of just getting rid of it as
But it's
more
like
beneficial.
keeping it online was more expensive than what they were getting from it.
Well, that's quite easy to explain, because the whole thing with tax would be, if you delete it entirely, you can say, well, this was worth $50 million. So we delete it, and then we have $50 million worth of tax rebate. So you can take things back, and you don't have to pay people residuals for it existing.
Right.
There was a lot of scriptwriters like, I'm never going to get any more money from this. It's like, yeah, because you got paid to write it. You shouldn't expect residuals in the first place. I hate the idea of I think it ruins the
but
industry.
in any way, it's freaking
Didn't watch.
embarrassing.
It was hilarious.
It's cringe.
I remember
just Warwick
seeing
Davis is
the
I
best.
love the original.
Disney had like the figures that didn't sell at like the Disney World and stuff. It's funny.
I would have had them. That way I could
it-
keep a little mini Warwick Davis
should've-
with me at all
You
times.
should have asked Jay to send you one. Internet
I
peasant
couldn't
for
ask
10.
him. I kept crapping myself whenever I started trying.
I
Hey,
like-
Jay.
I was like,
Oh
no,
my
I just-
God.
I can't.
Here we go again. I really like your profile picture, Internet Peasant. I like that art. Anyways, thank you for the 10. Hey, first ever super chat. Oh, thank you. Please review the teaser trailer for the live action Powerpuff Girls show. It's so bad. It looks like a parody of bad live action projects. I can't find it. I had it bookmarked to watch and it keeps getting deleted.
I saw it somewhere and we dodged a bullet, man.
I can
We
find
did.
it for you. We
Let's
did
see
watch
if
it.
this Baru can find it. We won't get probably won't get clipped
the
for
issue
it 'cause
is
it's-
the reason why it's been getting deleted is because it's been getting copyright claimed by them.
Oh, so we
So
might get
when we watched it
copyright
on
claimed.
FNT, we only watched it on Rumble.
Oh, okay. So you can't watch. Maybe we can look at some stills of like the pictures. I don't want to get a clip from it. It was awful. Like I can't. It really
it's-
does look like a parody of a bad live action
It's
project.
not an
like,
official.
No.
They've come out and they said it wasn't an official trailer and it was never supposed to see the light of day, which
Wasn't
is
an
why they've
official-
been claiming it.
That's why they're so mad because like we don't want you to see how awful this show was going to be. It's so dumb though because it's a show. I loved Powerpuff Girls when I was younger, and it's a cute show about these preschool like girls with superpowers. Not Bubbles gets drunk. Blossom, like, what was the one where they were like, "We're gonna leak your nudes"? I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah,
And
there
watching
was
them
one, it's
fly
like-
was hilarious.
It's like, I'm not going to
so
do
funny.
that. That's a tool of the patriarchy.
Yeah,
Like,
I
wait,
was
what?
like, oh my gosh. If not that I want them to do this, but if they were going to do a live action Powerpuff Girls, it should be actually make it a kid show. Make it a live action version of the little girls. I don't think that would be good, but it would be way better than what they're doing, like growing them up like that. I don't know. I don't even know what to say about it.
yeah.
It was so freaking awful.
It's just not meant
I'm
to
glad
be.
it didn't go through. I mean, we would have had a lot of fun making fun of it on the show.
Oh yeah, you guys
Um,
would have made a lot of money out of it.
There's a pilot somewhere that exists. That's what counts.
Really?
Well, yeah, because they made the entire pilot. Then it got cancelled. So this trailer was made for it as the
That
pilot
is
trailer.
the holy grail. You guys need
This is the
to
thing.
find this.
As long as it
blow up.
exists, there's hope.
I'll hit 20K overnight.
I can find like the 1 minute 36 versions.
Do you think
Can't find
I'll
the
get
3-minute
clipped
version.
though if we play it? We
I don't
skim
think you can
through
show it on YouTube because like
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm looking and it says media's been
dangerous.
disabled.
It
and
won't
responsible
even
copyright
stay
on it.
on X. So
Well, again, like this is one of the things what you could probably get away with if it was run through OBS and you had filters and pitch shifting.
Yeah.
The AI isn't going to detect
so if I was
it.
making a video on it, you should make a video on it just for
Well,
you should. Just a short
Yeah.
little video. I think it'd be funny.
It's different doing videos than live streams and stuff. I think like a live stream is a 3-hour thing. It's stuck in the middle of it somewhere compared to a video about the topic. It's a lot
Yeah.
easier to find.
Yeah. All right, a couple more, and then we'll get on to the topic. There was a few here that had to do with us. I almost said 7-Eleven. I need to go to bed. 007. Lexicon Hellhound for 5. Best TV in the past decade is Cyberpunk Edgerunners. Guy goes
Was
cyber
good.
psycho self-deletion to save the woman he loves. Oh, it was great. It made me want to play the game. Not that I didn't have
everyone wanna
interest in the. Yeah, not that people wanted to go take revenge in the game. Like after watching the show. I
It's a
have
show
it, I think.
officially about the game.
Yeah, it's an animation that they made.
It's a
and they
really
work-
great animation.
The reason why
I
it
never
works
knew that
was
this existed.
yeah. The reason why it worked is they went to the anime studios, and they just said, we want an anime about our game. And so they gave them free reign to do the decision. And apparently, they said at one point they came to them and so we like with a list of changes they wanted made, and the studio just went, no. Like, if you want us, we're not making it. And they were like, we're gonna make what we want to make, otherwise you can go stuff yourself. And so the Cyber like, well, okay. And it did gangbusters for them, it was incredibly popular. And Cyberpunk kind of died. It had an awful release, and that just it got people back into the game. Everyone went back into it.
Every time there's a major some major hardware release, some new NVIDIA or something, it seems that game is the new benchmark to test that hardware in.
I agree with Kara. Studio Trigger, they've got some good stuff. I hate how long it actually took me to watch Cyberpunk, but it was really good. If you should check it out, Dan. You might like it. It's
cool.
Yeah, it's kind of bad that it never made it second. I would thought, because the first one was popular, so I thought they made a second and just never did.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Snorky World, thank you for the 5. Hi, Wicked. Fell in love with you. I'm looking to animate. Would you, and amazing Dan Vasc, let me use a few clips so I can animate, please?
Yeah, with me, anything like fair use is fair use.
Sure.
Yeah, same with me. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
just make sure if you're on X, make sure you tag us so we can see it. I would love to see that. And thank you so much for the kind words and for the 5.
Animators listening to Jay's voice and what happens.
That sounds like a danky project.
Yeah, that is.
That's danky. Retromeister for
That's the
10.
reason why Elon needs to go to another planet. It's just because
of Jay?
the more Drunk 3PO streams, like his voice gets beamed across the Earth, and there's just an ever-increasing amount of feeding across the Earth.
This is the new James Bond movie.
Yeah, it's essentially, we need to cap Drunk 3PO's viewers before we flood. Like, his voice can only go so far. It's too powerful.
We flood in what?
Look,
Clogging
people
the
can't
toilet?
control themselves.
The world
like,
will flood in diarrhea because of Jay,
Yeah.
and Elon
Like
Musk has to save us in a rocket.
We have to go to another planet if we don't control him.
Someone is probably going to clip this and send it to Danky, and it's probably going to happen.
Like, it's
sounds
like
like
an
something he would
X-Men
make.
movie. Like Magneto wanted to turn everyone into X-Men, and he's just like, no, we have to stop him broadcasting his voice across the Earth.
It's like Noah's Ark.
Yeah.
But it's Elon Musk with a rock.
They say everything
instead
repeats.
of rain.
Like, history repeats. Like, we don't know it was rain. We have no idea. We just saw it written down for a bit.
Definitely not you, Mongoose.
It's like Drunk 3PO turns up every 2,000 years, or every 3,000 years, whatever it is.
What is he, like Rita Repulsa trying to conquer
climbs out
Earth?
of the Earth.
He
finally
what's
digs
going
himself
on?
out of the pool of like solidified crap that he created last time, and he's like, finally. And the moment he starts talking, he's like, oh no, time has begun again.
Oh no, the
humans have to evolve to a point where they can leave the planet.
I can't
The
focus.
humans have to evolve to a point before they can leave the planet to break the system. It's just the wheel of time just keeps going round and repeating.
Oh my goodness.
Very
Anyways,
philosophical.
Yes, the desolation happens. We have to escape before.
Retromeister for 10. Barbara Broccoli is the KK of 007 who hates old school fans.
Catherine Kennedy.
Kathleen Kennedy, yeah. Cad's GoldenEye 64 fan projects and won't release James Bond Jr. on new media. Craig's legacy of Bond ended with Spectre not No Time to Die. I haven't watched Craig's Bond movies. Spectre, yeah, I haven't watched the Daniel Craig Bond movies.
I think Daniel Craig's legacy of Bond ended with what's it called? Not Siphon. That was a game. Layer Cake. He was a great Bond in Layer Cake, and then he started Bond and was awful. So,
is that a movie?
It's a great movie. Yeah, it's about I think he's like a drug baron or something at the time. It's kind of a little English movie. But he plays sort of the suave, sophisticated drug dealer in that. And I think that was the last movie he did before Bond. I could be wrong.
You leaked to the stream. I think he meant Wrecked.
It was one of those things where it showed that Daniel Craig could make great movies. And then never did.
Yeah, once you're James Bond, it's very hard to come out of it. once you're James Bond, Sean Connery did it, and he was the first guy who was worried about that because he was the first James Bond. He was very weary of being typecast as that James Bond-like character, and he started doing dramas, started doing like The Wind and the Lion, Name of the Rose, that sort of stuff. And I think he managed to get out. Like, you still think of him as James Bond, but he would be casted to do just anything.
Well, Daniel Craig has successfully escaped Bond. He has now like rediscovered himself as his true calling of being a gay actor. It is he did. We have a thing over here where people women are children's TV presenters and they're known for that, and then to kind of enter adult television, they just go topless in some kind of magazine or movie or something, and that's their kind of coming of age thing to go, I'm not a children's TV presenter anymore. I can do art. And I think that's what Daniel Craig did. He was like, I don't want to be Bond anymore, so I'm just going to start doing the women
dress as a woman. Yeah.
Bye, Jay. I'm gonna leave. Every time you step away, Disparu or Dan bring up some scenario of you, like, I don't know, pooping or something.
Say it. Yes.
I'm just a realist.
Say it.
I just described reality.
Bye, Jay.
I just described reality. The world end in diarrhea. I just described reality.
Mm-hmm. This is the fate of Earth that matters now.
Okay. One more for now, and don't worry, we'll catch up, guys. I want to stay on the topics.
Laxative
like
3PO.
What? Did somebody make that?
Uh-huh.
Oh, never mind. I thought someone made the name. You know, that happens. Saw 1, thank you for the 10. I don't think they wanted to reboot it because if you remember, Willow unlocked the power from the axe and made everyone a slayer. Now they can put any DEI they want now and use that. Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was the different Willow.
That makes sense. I know for a second I thought that they were talking about your Willow, but no,
yeah,
Willow
I was
from
like,
Buffy.
wait, what?
Yeah, that's true. It's gonna be awful. I
Wait,
need to make a video and rant about it. I will.
Buffy essentially
Oh
was
my
that way anyway because the superpower went from woman to woman to woman to woman to woman. So it was the first. It's a bit like Wheel of Time, the fact that it had DI built into it.
Yeah.
And so if you make it any worse than it already was, you're just gonna jump off.
Well, the thing with Buffy was that they did it back before, like, of course, in the 90s, we all grew up in the 90s, they pushed messages and stuff, but it wasn't the way it is now. For the most part, we are still fond of shows that did things like that because they still had a good story, and it wasn't like, oh,
and
like
she
Buffy was
and it was done for the male gaze.
She wasn't a Mary Sue. She, to me, at least, the definition of a Mary Sue is someone who doesn't have to try anything, is just completely liked. You know, they don't show any hard ships or anything. With Buffy, absolutely not the case. She didn't want to be the Slayer. They showed her training to become better. She had so many hardships. So many people died on her watch. She's not a Mary Sue. She was a strong woman character done properly. So it's like, what are you going to do now? Now you're going to turn it into some like feminist. It was feminist back then, but it was done not in the way they will do it now. It's going to be DEI. It's going to be woke. It's going to be all the bad things. And I'm going to be mad. I'm going to be upset.
If you go back to those days and there were shows like Alias, there were shows like Nikita, there was lots of shows about female spy beats up loads of men, but the thing they all had in common is they were hot, they wore skimpy clothes, and they looked good doing it. It's the same thing with Black Widow. Yeah. There's the whole thing where Iron Man's standing there and she annihilates a bloke and she's like, I want one. And every guy was thinking exactly the same thing. Yeah. Like, as long as you play that angle, you can get away with it. It's when you want to be... you don't want to provide the audience with anything else. You just want the strength to be part of it. And then you're just essentially replacing...
It comes from a place not of empowerment of women nowadays, but of hatred for men. That's why you're not allowed to show any skin and not allowed to even cast pretty women anymore. Because it has to be like... Empowerment of women is not enough. That hatred for men part starts when it's like men cannot enjoy this.
Well, the issue you've got is one of the strongest powers that women have is control over men via using their body.
Everything we fucking do, we build rockets and starships to go to Mars because of women.
Well, yeah, and wives have been manipulating their husbands since the beginning of time by using their body. It's like, I know what you want. You're gonna have to do what I just.
So use their bodies and cook good food.
You get exactly. So you get to a point where if you strip a woman of being attractive, you actually demean her. You're disempowering her because you're removing her of her main powerful ability.
And that's what they
'Cause
actually
You're not going to
want.
beat him in a fight, so you have to fight in indirect methods, which is one of the reasons when I'm talking about Daredevil and the scene being feminine, it's because he didn't directly use power against the bloke. He did it indirectly by showing a photo rather than holding him over a balcony. One is feminine, one is masculine, because he could just beat the guy up, but instead he used soft power to manipulate him in an effeminate way. And so the sexes have always handled things differently, and you do that by being attractive or manipulative or holding something over them. And we just don't have the difference anymore, because you can't tell one side of the story. You can only tell the male side of the story. It just doesn't work.
And this is a good point. That Buffy was also constantly helped by characters far stronger or more powerful than herself, and even weaker. Her Scooby Gang, she needed them.
Yeah,
but yeah,
shiver me
that's
timbers.
Sorry. One more super chat, just because this one's for Disbrew. He'll like this one.
Shout out to They're not bringing it back up.
The
Have
name.
they announced a season 3?
Are they?
He just totally skipped the name. Just read the super Lethal Cheeks.
Oh, Lethal Cheeks. I suddenly think of like bringing back Halo. It's like, what, they're doing that again? Yeah,
Okay.
Lethal, big fan of Halo. Massive. Loved it. Especially how they took the helmet off all the time and reduced it to simply being head protection of vehicle.
Harokami, thank you for the 2. Twilight with Sydney Sweeney. Now, the guys would have watched that. You know something real
Yeah.
quick? Michelle Trachtenberg was actually supposed to play Bella Swan. Like, she was in line to play it because she even said there's not that many, like, super pale girls in
No.
Hollywood. What? Michelle Trachtenberg?
hang on. It says Halo finds a new lease of life on Netflix.
He's thinking of something totally
although
different.
almost certainly won't come back for
We
season
lost
3.
him, Dan. We lost
Okay.
him.
So apparently Netflix is just putting on the first 2 seasons then, I guess.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Where was it before?
Well, it was they
Max?
Paramount? I think it was Paramount Plus.
Paramount? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's Paramount Plus. I remember the first time I came back from Vegas, there was a guy on the aeroplane that I saw watching it the entire way home, like season 1 and 2. I'm like, why are
Wow.
you doing this? You're already stuck in an aeroplane where you can't escape, and you decide to watch Halo.
Yeah. I think Paramount's one of the worst ones. Like buffers all the time. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
I don't know, 'cause
Paramount
we
Plus?
can't
Oh,
get
yes.
over
Paramount
here.
Plus.
Paramount
yeah.
Plus. Oh, it makes me so mad because I originally got it to watch Big Brother. It's something that I watch with my mom. I know it's like a corny reality show, but it's something I
I've
watched with my
seen
mom.
a
And we
lot.
I was
live in
watching
the
some of the
I can't
Star
remember.
Trek
So-
movies. Some of the
Yeah, and they have
Star
that.
Trek movies, yeah.
They have some good stuff on there, but yeah, it always buffers for me. I'm like, Paramount's been around since like the dawn of movies.
Yeah.
And I get a freaking streaming service to work correctly. It makes me mad.
First, there was the word, and the word was Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, in terms of quality and compression, I think Amazon Prime is the worst. It's the one that compresses the video quality the most.
Yeah, I think that Max, HBO, is actually probably my favorite streaming service because they have a lot of old movies on there. They have a lot of good, like, the DC cartoons and stuff. And they
Oh, in
put
terms of content? Yeah, absolutely.
content, and it plays
Yeah.
well. I don't really have many issues with Max.
Mhm.
My
I watched
favorite content is
Smallville on
just
Max.
Netflix.
Is it on Max? I gotta restart that. That's something that I can start over. I've Lois and Clark because they
Everything
have the DC stuff.
DC's on, everything
Yeah.
DC's on Max. But I think Netflix is, in terms of performance, is my favorite.
Netflix, yeah, because they've got it down. I hardly have issues. The only issue I had was the freaking Tyson fight that kept.
Oh
freezing.
yeah, you and the whole
I had
world.
to. I had to watch it on my phone for a bit. I worked on my phone. So I was like, all right, guess we're watching
Yeah.
it here. I saw the butt was on the phone. I was like, oh, great.
I just don't think you should make
Probably
your streaming
better for
service.
me than on the big screen, you know.
Just don't name your streaming service after a sanitary towel. It's a bad idea.
Sanitary towel? Which
Yeah.
one is it?
Well, we call
Which
them
one?
maxi pads.
Oh,
I think
yeah,
that's
we
a
have
brand
maxi
name over
pads.
here. So
You
you're
know
like,
what?
oh, I've been watching Max. I'm like, oh no.
It used to
Oh,
be
it's like a
HBO
Blaze
something.
movie.
It should. It's so silly that they dropped the HBO name because people love
Yeah,
like
HBO Plus.
Yeah, I think
Something like that.
something like that. They need to keep HBO in the name. It's a very silly move for them to move away from that because HBO has been around for so long. They're very well
Yeah,
established.
Max, what the fuck is Max?
I know. And I had to download a whole new app too. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't got time for this. I'm just kidding. but it was just annoying.
That's like
Time
complaining
for
about doing the
downloading
laundry.
apps.
It's like, oh, this is so much effort. Like you press a button and it spins itself. It's like you just press download, everything happens for you.
I
can't
love doing
believe they're making
laundry.
me do this.
Listen, I love doing laundry and dishes. I'm a real girl.
Wow,
That is
nice.
genuinely impressive. Yeah.
Look at
I
that.
do. I like to
You
clean.
have set feminism back 20 years just with that statement.
Good.
Good.
HBO Go. That's what it was
We're gonna
called.
make us say
HBO
it
Go.
every week, and eventually we might end back up in the good old days.
Listen, the world would be a better
She
place.
just comes in
if,
steadily more oppressed, like every week.
if women just did more baking and cleaning, you'd be happier. I promise. Just give it a try.
Nice.
Mazza Roshi for $1.99. Oi, say, where is that spicy little mix? Do you mean Minx? Mix X-ray girl?
To be fair, that actually makes it more realistically Marza.
It does.
Getting it wrong.
Getting it wrong, yeah. I don't know. She's out like wandering, frolicking, doing
anime
X-ray
monster.
things.
I'm always like this, looking at the picture. I go into gremlin mode.
We must clone Wicked and set them.
Yes.
Yes.
This is the thing. All we need is some kind of flood system, and then we can just breed a new generation again.
Flood system with water.
Or just
Oh,
3PO.
gosh.
Or drunk 3PO.
Oh my
We
goodness.
must go back.
Jesus.
Anyways, speaking of poop, Snow White.
That is actually, there is a crowd, crowd control system where they play a sound at a certain pitch, and it just makes everyone crap themselves and scared.
Really?
Yeah.
It's
just use
Jay's
sound waves.
voice. It's like when you hear the sounds like that, his laugh, ha ha ha, and everybody.
Maybe he was the research and development.
Wow. Is there footage of this?
I could probably find an article out.
Disparu is always that person. If I need to find something, I ask him, and then boop, he found it. Jimmy Carr. Kara loves Jimmy Carr.
Oh yeah, Jimmy Carr. People are like, why do you laugh weird? He says, because I laugh on the inhale, whereas everyone else laughs on the exhale. Who is like, rather than...
Wow.
Yeah.
He laughs inside out.
Yeah, well, he always says, I laugh on the inhale.
Thanks,
He always
Brady.
sounds as if he's choking to death.
We strive for classiness over here. I appreciate that.
Nice.
And to be fair, someone earlier in the chat did say that if Dan wasn't on the stream, he'd be in the chat derailing it, which is fair because that's usually what happens.
That's probably true.
Okay, so Disney, let me zoom in. Disney cancels the UK Snow White premiere amid backlash and fears of negative Rachel Zegler press will limit her to tightly controlled press events. Smart. They did that a little bit too late. I don't know why I thought this was so funny when I read it. Like,
It is funny.
it's hilarious.
Because it's an admission that she's a PR problem.
She is.
Yeah,
Do you think this is gonna mess up her career?
The original article that came out about this
Maybe.
said it was because they feared anti-woke backlash. And you're like, hang on.
Sure.
If you're scared of that, London is not like...
That's not the place to be scared of that.
Yeah, London is like a more condensed California.
Yeah,
There-
say,
there
like,
is
if you're
gonna be
scared
no
of that,
backlash.
be scared of that in, like, I
Be
don't know,
scared of being
Texas,
stabbed.
Florida. Like, yeah, be more scared of being stabbed.
Well, they need arms.
Sorry,
Maybe that was
Disparu.
it. They don't admit it.
So, let's see.
I'm the one to
Why-
talk about stabbing. Live in Brazil.
It's bad over there, too.
Why they're
Instead
so
of-
speedy.
Yeah.
They're so speedy. What?
They're great at running in
Oh,
Brazil.
Oh my gosh, that
Oh,
one
yeah.
video, the video of the guy helping the other guy who got his bike stolen from behind, it looks like Dan, and I had
Yeah.
tears. I was laughing so hard.
A lot of people said that.
We
lot
played it
of
on
people told me
Saucy, and
that.
I was crying laughing.
it's
because
Dan.
It's Dan. Okay, so instead of the usual high-profile Snow White UK premiere, which would have taken place in what is this, Leicester Square? Leicester? How do you pronounce that,
Oh
Disparu?
my god.
How do you pronounce it?
Leicester.
Leicester. Okay, I'm not from there. That's
Leicester?
why I asked. Don't.
That's a weird way to spell Leicester.
No, but I found out Americans were going, what's the hardest word in the English language to say? and then they held up a bottle of Worcestershire sauce.
Worcester sauce.
But I was like,
What?
this isn't even hard to say, Worcestershire. It's not a difficult
Worcestershir.
word. And then I found out an American was pronouncing it Worcestershire. I'm
Hold
like, no
on.
wonder you think it's difficult to say
It's
Worcestershire.
I'm going to start saying it wrong now. Worcester.
Worcestershire.
It's Worcestershire.
Yes, Worcester.
It's Worcestershire.
Worcester.
Worcestershire.
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 It's still better than some.
Dan Vasc has regressed to the old ways.
Worcestershire.
It's like the indigenous.
Worcestershire.
He went back to caveman days. Worcestershire. Oh my gosh.
I genuinely can't.
I can't even finish this.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Worcestershire Square.
The studio has scaled down media appearances, carefully selecting only a handful of press outlets to cover the film. This suggests Disney does not want to risk open-ended media interactions that could lead to more controversy.
Open-ended media, like unscripted interviews? Is that
Yes,
what that means?
because
Yeah.
on the
'Cause
red
they
carpet
can't
in a premiere.
prep her.
Anyone
would
can
walk-
go there. Yeah.
Well, there would be lots of well, I think the problem is actually journalists.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
There was something today where I forget the thing. It's between the woman and the feminist. Everyone knows about it. What's his name? Oh, I forget the name.
Jesus
Either way,
Christ.
there's been a big courtroom drama between some woman accusing a feminist of doing something. All the women are into it, making videos about it. But she did another movie, and someone was on the red carpet, a journalist, and said, "So, what do you think about what's been happening recently?" And the woman just went, sorry, I've taken ayahuasca. The entire last year has been wiped from my memory. But I hear the movie's great," and just walked off. Completely
Nice.
just shut down the journalist.
Oh,
It was- and it's from like Variety.
Anna Kendrick.
Yes. And more people are learning that. So you had Mads Mikkelsen also shut down a journalist. Brie Larson also shut down another one. They're learning finally that these people are asking you questions to make you say something that they know will backfire.
I'm sorry. Every picture that Park Place is
Yeah, it's like
savage for this, but like in a great way. I love it. They're all like, look at how good Gail looks just fine, and then, but
yeah.
I love it.
And Gal Gadot just like,
Just for while we're on this topic, do you happen to have a clip of her and Gail walking to present at the Oscars?
Oh, I can definitely
oh,
find
that was so weird.
It was, and that dress was like, it's like she doesn't have boobs, but that dress was just like, we're gonna try to make it seem like we're smushing
Well,
something. But
Yeah,
there's
there's a clip of
nothing there.
She
where
was walking like
probably have a
this
bookmark
for
of that
some
actually.
reason. She
Oh
was walking
yeah,
like
Ariana Grande saying she had her mind wiped. Well, that journalist wouldn't say. She should have just been like, "I can't talk about it," and then walked away. She made it weird. You guys seen the interview? A journalist was asking when her album is coming out. And
it
she's
gave
just
me
like-
it gave me the cringes a little bit.
It was weird because, like, in her the one video that she did for her one of her singles or whatever, it's like Eternal Sunshine. That movie is what it's supposed to be based on, and she gets like her mind wiped to forget about her relationship. So she was trying to play on that, but it was like, you're right, it was cringy. Thank you,
Was
Disprove
awkward,
found
yeah.
it.
So
Of course,
this is the
Steph's got
difference.
it.
Why is she walking all like this?
She's
Why
like,
is, yeah.
she's walking
Oh,
like
it gets
a.
even weirder. What you essentially have is someone who's ladylike and has clearly been trained how to walk, and someone
Yeah.
that has just been a bloke their entire life.
She's
Like
walking. She's walking
new-
like she's got balls.
Well,
She's
the thing
walking
is,
like she's a newborn giraffe or something.
There's also everyone has commented about how awkward her dress is. And
It is
there's-
awkward.
There are because a lot of people saying that it's supposed to be worn higher up, but she obviously wanted it down here. There's a time where she turns around from an interview and she goes to pull it up and stops herself. So she just kind of grabs it and like hot stops. And it seems like even she wanted to pull it up and just didn't for some reason. But and I'll have to mute it.
Yeah.
Just watch the difference in walking. Yeah, but the one is like gliding along, and the other it's like she's trying to race her. There's a bit where she speeds up.
Yeah,
it's here.
you're
You see
right.
her speed
You're
up.
totally right.
And then she starts going, "Oh god, I need an extra boost of speed here now." And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So I want to beat her to the microphone. It is
Yeah.
so
And
bizarre.
that dress,
It's
so her
cringe.
dress could have been pretty. Like I like the sparkliness and the color, but like the front, like I don't know what they're doing. It's like she's kind of flat, right? So and it's
So
they
it's
could have done
shoved up
they could
as
have done
close as
something,
possible.
but they could have done something to shove it up and make it look more like elegant and like natural. But this is just like they were like, I don't know what to do
Yeah,
here.
they
So
just pulled it tight.
it's like
essentially.
somebody trying to
Yeah.
tape their boobs, like they don't
She
want
wants-
boobs.
yeah,
they're
she
trying to
wants-
tape
that's taped.
Yeah,
Because
she
otherwise it'd
wants to
fall
look
down.
like she has big boobs.
Yeah.
It,
didn't work.
that's definitely taped because there's nothing underneath it to hold it up. And so 100% that is like hold there by friction tape.
Yeah, it's hold on. Thanks, Rhino. Oh yeah, this was
That must hurt.
Rhino's clip. This was funny. Hold on. He said this looked familiar. It's the same clip, but I've seen this on X. Hold on. Of course. It's gonna be here. Let me Oh, I forgot to mute it. I don't think I shared the sound anyways, but very accurate. He looks like Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah.
It's true. Thanks, Rhino. That's a good one.
Oh man.
Yeah. It's
Remember when that was bad Star Wars? Good times.
Oh, that poor
Yeah,
guy.
I
got
I always
bullied.
bullied.
liked
Sith
it though.
Lord.
I always liked it though.
So okay, back when that came out, I wasn't into Star Wars yet. It was more when I got into my
Oh,
teens
do you want to
that
see
I got
my
into Star
favorite
Wars.
Oscars dress?
Yes.
This is amazing.
But
favorite
Jar-
Talk about
Oscars
my
dress.
favorite Oscars.
Oh, hold on.
Disparu's favorite Oscar
Yeah, you'll see why.
dress.
Spot the difference level impossible. So you've got
Oh
that.
my god.
This brewer wants a burrito.
I mean,
I want a
spot
burrito.
the difference.
You know what? I'm actually making steak burritos tomorrow for dinner. I decided. So now this is telling me
Nice.
do it.
Do it.
Do it. Thank you for the encouragement. No, but with Jar Jar Binks, right? So I wasn't into Star Wars yet when those movies came out. And my mom's, her best friend had a son that was a few years younger than me, and he was obsessed with it. And he had a Jar Jar Binks action figure, and he had like a lisp. So he would always come to us and be like, "I'm Jar Jar Binks. I'm Jar Jar Binks," with the action figure. And I was like, "I hate this movie. I hate it. I'm never gonna watch it." I was so annoyed, and oh my gosh.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
discovered
Binks with the
Star
Sith
Wars
Lord.
around. I discovered Star Wars around the time that episode 1 was coming out, and it was awesome. Somehow I got to the early 2000s without knowing that Darth Vader was Luke's father.
Oh, okay. So
So it
I
was
did
great.
watch. I watched the
So you
originals
decided to come on
first.
here and ruin it for everyone else.
Oh,
Sorry,
sorry,
guys.
man.
There's a guy like,
Oopsie.
damn it,
Oh,
I was
man.
gonna watch it this weekend.
50-year-old movie.
So
You can't use that excuse when you're like, it was so amazing. You got to 20 years old. without
Yeah,
watching it.
that's true.
So this is going to be a very
Yeah.
odd thing to bring up, but I have to because I learned about this. Everyone that was here last week, before the stream, we caught Dan up on Kersha and Joey Spaghetti and that whole prisoner thing. So yesterday I happened to have a Meat Canyon. If you don't know who that is, it's Papa Meat. Most people, I think, probably know who he
Have
is.
a meat
because-
canyon. Way.
Anyways, he was reacting to like crazy prisoner stories, which I found funny because we were like last week we were just talking about this with Kirsha. So
And then Kersh's face appeared in the video, like, oh no.
Joey Spaghetti, broken-hearted prisoner. But no, so
Joey
Brazilian.
Spaghetti.
I know I'll never forget that name.
Presumably because of the length, that's why he wanted to be known by that name.
So I had to look into one of the stories. Now the story is 15 years old, but I seen this yesterday, and I'm like, Dan's coming on tomorrow, so we are talking about it. This article is more than
Why
15
that
years
picture
old.
of a pigeon? Why are you trying to make a pigeon look angelic? It's like,
Yeah. Oh, look at me. I have all kinds
it's
of
like,
diseases.
oh, they're coming down to
Oh.
save us.
So, but don't worry, I have a video if you guys are wondering how the heck this happened. So, Brazilian prisoners use pigeons to smuggle in mobile phones. Guards
Well, they didn't
at
have telephones. It's the only way they could get messages across.
guards at Danilo Pinheiro. How do I say that, Dan?
Danilo Pinheiro.
Thank you. It sounds so much better when you say it. I'm like Danilo
There's no way,
Pinheiro.
even hearing it, there's no way I'm saying that like immediately afterward.
In Brazil, discovers
Wachacha.
birds Wachacha in the Wachacha prison in Brazil.
The Worcestershire prison.
So The guards nabbed a bird after luring it down with some food and discovered the components of a small cell phone inside the bag. Pigeons instinctively fly back home. So basically, what happened here is some of the prisoners were like raising pigeons and taught them how to go
Police
get
has not
phones.
discovered who raised the pigeons. How do you raise a pigeon in secret? That's what I want to know.
It's Brazil.
It's Brazil. They
What?
probably.
It's Brazil. They're all retarded. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
no,
the only
they-
thing you were basically going
They
with.
probably
No.
bribed a bunch of guards, and the people at the prison knew this. That's probably the
well,
most
it
likely
says right
scenario.
here that some of them are members of an organized crime group and use cell phones to talk to family and friends. So no one's gonna snitch. People knew what was going on, but they're not gonna snitch because.
No, but how about the pigeons?
killed.
Now, I
Oh.
could have understood if they'd gone to sort of the guy in charge of the prison. It's like, look, can we raise pigeons? Because, it'll be better for our mental health. It'll give us something to do in life. It'll teach us responsibility and that kind of stuff. You could definitely swing that over here.
Yeah,
Of just
yeah.
teaching them that. But they're like, no, we raised them in a cell. We hid them in a hole in the wall somewhere. Like, if you can raise pigeons in secret, you can build
Nobody
a ladder.
noticed all the bird shit around.
Exactly. They make noise. The food's
like,
going missing.
they're like,
It's
how
far
cute,
easier
they
to
got little
hide a
pets.
ladder than it is
Yeah.
a pigeon.
And maybe they're just like, oh, it's cute. The prisoners got little pets. But here's a video on it. Wait, actually, hold on.
We have video.
There's a video. I found video.
Is it just going to be of pigeons?
No,
like,
it
what
shows
is the-
one of the pigeons.
Because
that,
otherwise, I think the guy that filmed them should be arrested because he knew what was going on. Otherwise,
No, it's not. They just show like one that they had afterwards. I think.
Just
Oh, here.
random
Here we go.
pigeons.
It's only 40 seconds. So
If you thought the days of delivery by carrier
this
pigeon
is a
were
T-
long gone, then think again. In Brazil, pigeons are being used to transport drugs and mobile phones to prisoners.
oh, I'm back.
Security at this jail was upped as officers trying to work out how the
If this
kids
is a
got
TV
back
show,
look
you're
at all
definitely
that.
getting
Look
picked.
at all that. There's like
That's
bags of
crazy.
phones.
and a woman was
Hold
caught
on,
with
wait till you
2
see this.
carrier pigeons inside a box. Prison guards then realized some birds were having problems flying.
Arrest them.
They've got little backpacks.
On closer inspection, they realized that's 'cause
Look at the
they
little
were using
bastards.
mini backpacks. Egyptians and
Look
Yeah,
at the
that's-
quality of phone they're sending
That's
in, though.
2000s. Yeah.
Well, this was
2000
15 years
phones.
ago.
to use
At
carrier
least give them
So-
like a Nokia 8210. They were tiny little things. they've given them things from the 70s that probably have a separate battery pack.
Has to
and
be
stuff
light.
attached to them.
Has to be light cell phones.
Well, you
I
get the
can't-
Nokia 8210, you could probably lose it up your nose with tiny little things.
I just can't believe that Dan never heard about this. I mean,
I
I
never
didn't
heard
either,
of this.
But it
I
was
never
like
heard
20
of
years
this, but
ago.
I'm not impressed. That's very Brazil.
And he's like, listen, if I want to train a pigeon tonight and have it done by tomorrow, I got it. Like, please give me something hard to do. Thanks.
It's like there's a reason why the Banana Republic expression exists. Like banana, it refers to tropical countries. Like it's our thing. It's just our thing.
He said nearly a retro story. 5 more years.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's
That's
true.
so Brazil. You just a shirt that says that. That's so Brazil. That
It
sounds like a
is.
90s sitcom. So that's so Brazil.
So Brazil.
They're gonna make another series
Yeah.
of Prison Break about this. They just spend like 2 episodes raising pigeons.
Yeah.
Don't
Prison
worry,
Break.
we'll get
Prison
out.
Break is another one that should have been just one season.
Yeah,
But, hey,
especially
do you-
when they escaped prison.
Yeah,
if you go to
Prison Break.
and you
You
carry it on
escape the
afterwards,
prison. Yeah, exactly. But
Then
yeah,
they
a
went to
guy.
prison in like a third world nation or something like. Oh, this is a really
Yeah,
horrible
they go
prison.
to more than one prison. But a guy the other day pretty much convinced me that a Dan Vasc sitcom, hey,
I
that's
could
pretty
see,
much
like,
our streams.
It is. I could see you like with like Jay or something doing like a Laverne and Shirley thing, like where you like walk
Just
into
him
like the
cracking
doors hit and you're
himself.
like you look at the camera like
Oh,
Jay, like oh not again. I can totally see that.
Now, one series that breaks the idea that you should only do something once is Money Heist. I think it's a Spanish series, but in that it's set around robbing a bank, and it's a bit kind of Ocean's 11 in the fact that it's all planned out in advance. And so every episode, this guy plans for everything, and then you kind of see his plan unfold over a couple of series. Do one bank robbery, and then they just go in and rob a different bank again, but the next bank is better. So it does actually improve on the original idea, even though they just kind of repeat it again. But then they did a spin-off series called Berlin, and it's crap. So they couldn't do the spin-off, but they could do the second kind of heist.
So, do you guys know where pigeons come from?
No.
Their mother? Or
Have
is
you
it going to be a chicken or a pigeon thing?
have you ever seen how do you say it in English? A child pigeon ever?
A child
pi-
pigeon. Child pigeon? I don't know what a baby Let me
A
look it
baby pigeon? Have you ever seen a baby pigeon ever?
No.
You haven't seen it, right?
up. No.
Have you ever been to a
Squab.
midget's? Have you ever been to a midget's memorial service or burial?
Like a small person?
Yeah.
It always goes back to midgets with Dan.
I was
No,
gonna
I
say,
have
like,
not.
midget, please.
You haven't, have you?
No.
No.
Yeah. So midgets turn into pigeons.
Right.
Dan, no.
You've never been to a memorial service over a burial of a midget, and you've never seen baby pigeons.
No.
You cannot disprove this.
I mean,
So
I'm not even
there-
sure if...
He's like, it's science, okay.
It's science. There comes a time on the life of a midget that when he starts to sense that he's about to go, he just goes to a dark alley behind some garbage cans.
Is he
or
like
something.
a caterpillar where he turns into like?
No,
a-
no.
a
He when he
transformational
starts
thing?
sensing his
Just grows
time is
wings.
coming, he just goes like.
It just pops out his
He
back.
turns into like 20 pigeons.
Yeah. Like Lucifer.
Damn!
He just concentrates and then the wings appear.
There you go.
Yeah.
I haven't played that clip in a while. I felt like it was needed.
It's like
There you go.
midget wrestling. Like one of the best things you can do. If you're ever bored, go and watch midget wrestling. Like seriously, it'll. I don't care what's wrong with you. You could have the worst day of your life. I feel like what's the cure for midget wrestling? This should be on a medical. This should be diet. It should just be given out at doctors' surgeries. Just DVDs with midget wrestling on them.
Yikes.
Gosh.
But midgets are so fun.
Mm-hmm. Like, there's a married couple that does a midget wrestling fight. I say fight. There's a reason why they could only do it and they're married.
Right.
Hey, gravy.
Is Wicked gonna turn into pigeons?
I don't know. Isn't midget like 4'7"? I'm 5'1.5", so I'm not that short.
Also, if you're above 4'7", you're not a midget anymore.
I think so. I don't know. I think
Is
there's
that
some kind
official?
of like, I don't know.
I feel
Chat,
like if
let
you're
me know.
arguing whether you are or are not a midget based on technicalities, you just are. Like, well, I don't know whether I am or not, but you probably are. That sounds like a midget
Yeah.
in denial.
If
Like,
you're
well,
in
when I
doubt,
wear heels,
yeah. When in doubt, you are.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
This,
Well,
it's
you
like
know,
that website, Am I the Asshole? If you have to ask, yes. And you know you are, that's why you ask.
Yeah, it's like when you're not a midget, you know you're not a midget.
Yes, at no point in my life have I ever considered, maybe I'm a midget. Even when I was below 4'7", I never thought I was a midget. I knew that I wasn't a midget.
well,
Am I
you
a
know,
midget?
Do you want to? There is
It's like, am I racist? Am I a midget?
the eternal struggle.
I actually have a clip for this, but it's way down in my bookmarks that I'm gonna have to scroll for a while to find.
Why it says Jay's just 4 midgets in George's trench coat.
Yeah, that's the thing. Never
Oh,
trust
no.
a guy in a raincoat. He's either 4 midgets or flashing. There's no middle ground.
Especially in Florida.
Yeah. Well, there's no rain. Like, wait, that's just
There's a lot of rain. There's a lot of rain.
No,
in
they
Florida.
have rain, but it's still hot. Even
It's
with
warm rain. It's not cold
Yeah.
rain.
Hey,
Oh, I found the. When I was
be
scrolling
careful
through
with
my
warm
bookmarks-
rain, especially if it's yellow.
Oh, well, that's actually a pretty smart.
Advice.
Yes, smart advice. Let me get a couple super chats. Sorry, guys, we fall behind. I'm gonna blame
Hang on.
Disparu.
With
You
this
see,
one-
we're blaming Disparu. Oh,
No,
here we go.
I found this. Just what? I'll mute it.
Ah.
But just watch the body language. She's like, oh yeah, I should have pulled it up, and then I
Yeah.
decided not to. It is a very. It's like I know. Oh yeah. I
Yeah,
can't.
yeah,
can I?
yeah.
Yeah, the way they did it was just weird, though. You know, it's like they were trying to make it look like she had boobs almost, but then they were like, "Wait, but not too much. We don't want too much sauce." But it's like
Yeah,
they lifted
because
and pushed
remember,
at the same
we
time.
hate men.
I think
Not
like,
for the male
there comes
guy.
a point where
Male
you just play
gaze.
into it.
I almost said gay.
Just make her walk around with an iron or something, and at least if we're useful. Do like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird chick.
She's very weird. I can only imagine how her man is. Like, she's in a relationship, and that guy must be super.
no, she's entirely different with him. There was an interview that happened on the set of the Hunger Games, and he walks over, and you see her melt, like visibly melt. Her voice changes. She turns around to him, talks entirely.
She more
differently.
feminine, like
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it works with feminists when they are in a relationship. They either act completely different with their man, or their man is like just a weakling. It's one of the two.
Well, she's spoken about what she wants to do, like what life after Hollywood kind of thing, and she said she just wants to go off into the hills somewhere and be a tradwife, basically live on a farm with her husband and pop out loads of kids. So
Yeah,
she wants
because
the traditional
that's-
life, but she pushes feminism. It's so
Whatever
weird.
their ideology is, her biological urges are still there. She was programmed to feel happy doing that, and that's not going to change. That's why liberal women are some of the most unfortunately unhappy beings of all time.
This
Oh
guy
gosh,
was
what's
subjected
this?
to a hate crime because little people don't like that he uses the word midget.
Little people don't like me because I say the word midget. I got protested at one of my shows. 22 little people showed up with the picket signs. They weren't picket signs, they were 3x5 cards. But they were there. And here's the craziest thing. They walked up to me and they said, Brad, when you call a dwarf a midget, it's the exact same as calling a black person the N-word. And I was like, midget, please.
who is that? Do you know his name or
I
no?
have no idea. And
I've
he can't
seen
be
that
too
guy
many
before.
dwarf comedians, so I probably find his name.
Yeah, dwarves are funny. Midgets are funny.
He's like midget flip, where you'd have to develop a sense of humor. Why fat
Everything with
people are funny.
midgets is better.
It is.
Yeah. Listen, I gotta get back to that. I used to send weekly midget videos. No, I used to
I've
send
got to
weekly
get back to my
midget.
midgets.
No, I used to send weekly
Always
midget
wanted to.
videos to Dan on Instagram,
need to
and I
find
haven't
my
done it in a
people
while.
again.
He just goes on just
Oh.
random midget video. I haven't done that in a while. I'll get back to it.
It's weird. I think it's more weird for me hearing all about those forbidden words in English because it's
Brad Williams.
my second language, and it means even less to me. But it's I don't know. It's just words, man.
Yeah, it's true. They only have an effect
Just
if you let
sounds-
them.
But
Yeah.
by the way, you do realize in Snow White they did hire 7 dwarves.
And then
That
you
there are
know,
7 dwarf actors in the movie.
The
but
new one?
They had them green screened.
then Dinklage was like, "Nah, I can be the only one."
No. Now, like the CGI dwarfs are actual
Oh,
dwarves that they've
for
CGI dwarfs onto. So, which is to me is worse because you're going, no, we can hire dwarves. They're just too ugly to be on the screen. Like these people are so. We spent hundreds of millions of dollars to erase them from the movie because we thought they were that awful and they couldn't be on the screen.
So they started with real ones and then CG'd them.
Well, I'm not even sure they started because there was the whole thing with the Daily Mail where you saw that picture in the field of different people
Yeah,
that
I
we've never
remember
seen ever
that.
since. So it seems like they've been reshot out. The dwarves appeared after that came out, and there was a delay for a year with CGI stuff. So I'm not still sure whether the dwarves have been added in afterwards. But it recently came out. The names of the actors that are now there for the dwarves.
They probably made motion capture for the CGI
but-
dwarfs.
Just have actual dwarves then.
Yeah, I agree.
Because at this point you are just going, they're
7
too ugly
jobs.
to be on the screen. We had to CGI their faces.
Yeah.
So they're acting into it. We just had to cover them up. God forbid a dwarfs on the screen.
Yeah,
crazy.
that movie is all wrong.
Yes.
Everything about this movie is wrong.
We must
All
go
right.
back.
But time to catch up on Super Chat. Sorry,
Flood.
guys. Black Kane has been a member for 5 months. Thank you. The last 2 episodes of Angel were what was going to be the 6th season if it hadn't been canceled. Yeah, seeing like hearing everything that happened, like what they did with Cordelia's character and Angel is probably for the best that they stopped. I mean, they already ruined her character, but yeah, that Angel and Buffy are really good. Donna Hall became a member. Thank you, Donna. Gabriel Knight for 10. Question for Dan. Did you ever play the Monkey Island series from LucasArts? If so, which game is your personal favorite? Oh,
Like
I know
I've
the
got a
answer to
box.
this. I got a box for that.
Oh, it's too far away. Wait. Talk about something else.
He just pulls
He's like,
down
"Oh
his
no,
whole
my
computer.
headphones don't
He
reach."
just pulls down his whole computer. Like, hold on, just-
Everything collapses. You just see a box slide
about
under the
something
camera
else.
on the floor.
The chat's gonna talk about Dan's legs now.
At least they know that he's got them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got 3 and 4. Two and 1 are extremely rare. And this is the Brazilian version. Ilha dos Macacos.
I'm glad you said, because otherwise I thought I had a stroke. Like, forgot how to read
Can
it.
I read or not? That looks. I like Dan's collections back there. They look nice.
So, but my personal favorite one is the original one, which I don't have because it's extremely rare.
It seems like it's
Right,
easier.
love.
So, question: all the stuff that you get, do you get it like online, or you go to like? Is there like flea
Online.
markets over there? Oh, okay. I didn't know if there was like flea markets in Brazil that
used
you
to
go
find-
to.
No, those games, to find it on flea markets, you usually find just the manuals or just the CDs, because most people threw away the boxes, including me. I threw away most of my
They were
PC
so
game
big.
boxes. Yeah, they were very big. We know them today as big box PC games, because the marketing was the box. You went to the store and you chose the game based on the box. So the box was part of the appeal of making you want to buy the game. So it makes sense that you would have such big, pretty boxes. But
It's
yeah,
funny now
it's
that-
incredibly hard to find.
Now they do the collector's editions, and
Yeah.
it'll be like, oh, we'll give you a manual and an art book. Like, that just
Yeah.
should be the game. I
That
remember
used to be
Baldur's Gate,
the normal practice. Yeah.
Baldur's Gate 2 came with a manual that was about that thick, which contained
Oh,
all the
yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons rules.
I
Then
have
it
it
had a
right there.
different thing which had all the spells. Then it had a map that was also separate.
Can you
They just
see
came with it
Baldur's
all.
Gate? The Baldur's Gate box?
Oh yeah, it's Baldur's Gate 2 that I played the most.
1 and
Irenicus
2.
is one of my favorite
1
game
and 2.
villains.
Beautiful
Irenicus
box.
is the first villain that made me complete the game because I hated him so much he had to die.
You wanted to kill him.
It was like, I know there's all these side quests that I should do, but I really need to find out how this guy dies. It was like-
Yeah, good times, man.
Sorry, I was reading something. Letting the boys have their fun. Jesus Davila has been a member for 10 months, almost a year. Thank you. Wicked, I second that Evil Within suggestion. The horror villains are creepy, especially the multiple-legged girl. She gave me the heebie-jeebies.
Heebie-jeebies. I remember the Evil Within
Let me see.
games were like was the market's response to Resident Evil kind of abandoning horror. With Resident Evil 4 and 5 and 6 going more to the action game side of things, then came the Evil Within to supply that need for an action horror game. And then Resident Evil came back to being a horror game.
Yeah,
With 7.
my favorite Resident Evil game is 2.
Original or remake?
I've never gotten to play the original. I'm sure I would like
Oh,
it
do
more.
it.
So the remake is.
A lot of people complain about tank controls. I never had any problems with tank controls. I played tank control
On the
games-
original?
Yeah. I played
Okay.
tank control games my entire life with Tomb Raider, a lot of the Capcom games, Dino Crisis, Resident Evil. I never had any problem with tank controls. I
The
don't
Evil
mind.
Within is only $19.99 on Steam right now, so maybe I will have to check it out. Thank you guys for the suggestion. It does definitely have like a old school Resident Evil vibe. I like that.
Yeah.
EB for 5. Surprised this brew didn't mention his other reason for watching Person of Interest. Oh, Sarah Shahi. That's
Sarah
Ava
Shahi
Girl.
was I went from Kate Beckinsale to Sarah Shahi. Once Kate Beckinsale aged out, Sarah Shahi was a hot psychopath. Which seems to be the perfect woman.
This
Because
brew-
she's all woman, but without all the emotional baggage.
So
Interesting.
interesting. Okay. Shane,
Oh,
thank you for the 10.
don't. There's a website called Is There Any Deal, which it essentially checks various different game libraries and stuff. If you go on Evil Within on that, it says that on GOG.com, Good Old Games, it's £5 or $5.
Nice.
Oh,
Evil Within.
okay. I actually might. I think
And
I
you
have
actually
an account.
own the game when you buy it on GOG. you
Yeah,
actually own
DRM
the
free.
game. You can download. That's insane that they do that in 2025, but they do it. They give you a downloadable installer that's like offline. You can pirate the shit out of that, but they
Well,
still
the thing
do
is,
it.
you can with Steam games if they don't have other stuff, because Steam's easily crackable. It's been the same DRM.
Yeah, but you
for
need
years.
to crack them. You need to like make
Well, yeah, but
the
the
effort
crack
to
is
crack them.
already. The crack is basically already.
Right.
They can crack those. It's only things like De Nouveau and stuff which are actually require effort.
Mm-hmm. No, but the thing with GOG, it's that you don't need to do anything.
Yeah.
It's just the installer. You can copy that installer on a pen drive and distribute to all your friends.
Well, it's what Steam proved, and it's what Spotify has proved and everything, is that if you provide a better, easier system at a decent price, people will just pay you rather than pirate.
Yeah, yeah.
And
there's also something called the thank you economy, which is like you feel something is so good and you enjoy it so much. It's the case with us YouTubers. People don't need to super chat. People can enjoy our content without spending a single cent, and people still choose to reach to their pockets and give money for us basically in exchange for nothing. That's called the thank you economy. When something provides you with so much value that you feel bad for enjoying it for free.
Oh, that
So
was really nice.
that's the
I
case.
wouldn't phrase it like that myself. It's like you should feel bad.
No. That's not what I mean.
He said it in a nice way. I get what you're saying.
You get what I'm saying?
I
It's
get what
like,
you're saying.
wow, this is so cool. I want to do something for those guys. And it's
Yeah,
okay if people don't, the people who don't have the means or don't have the will to do it,
Yeah.
it's okay. But if that happens to only 10% of the people who watch us, we can already make a living out of that, which is wonderful. And that's the case with GOG. I think most of the people who choose to spend money on GOG is like, I love those games, I love what this company is doing, and I want them to be rewarded for what they're doing.
There's also an element of where you are in life. So it's like when I was a student, piracy and stuff were way more common, whereas now, no, because it's just easier not to. So I think
Thank
you
you,
can go through
Shane.
phases. It's like Adobe, they're quite renowned for knowing people pirate all their stuff, but they let it happen because you get
They're owned
used
by
to their
Epic?
software, and then when you can afford it, it's just easier to buy it.
So I don't know. I think I may have had a GOG account.
No, I think GOG is owned by the people that make
CD
Witcher.
Projekt Games.
Yeah.
Oh,
CD
okay.
Projekt Games.
I just opened up a tab because I might have an account. If not, I'll make one. I know a lot of people talk about them.
It's pretty cool. They blocked me on Twitter for some weird reason. maybe some. I've never had anything but positive interactions with
Did you
them.
get with some kind of like blockchain, like on accident or something?
I don't know. It was super weird, and it was super weird because people far more controversial than me, like Cabrutus, on the gaming sphere, like people like Jeremy, Cabrutus, all the Geeks and Gamers people, they were not blocked, and I was for some reason. So I don't know. Maybe it was some rogue intern or something like that, but they unblocked me. The people on Twitter made such a noise, and they got me unblocked, which was awesome.
Hold on. I'm not going to skip super chats, I promise. But patriotic, hey. Thank you for
Fee.
the 50. Thank you, Fee. Well, that deserves. Hold on. What are we gonna?
Is that I felt bad.
You get the damn, and you know what? Here you go. We'll give you even a nut number.
I mean, I
wow,
don't know
a
if the
number
people
one.
on the stream are seeing this, but I'm not seeing anything like I normally do when you play them.
Let me try again.
Damn.
Well,
You
I
see
saw a
that, Dan?
line happen at the bottom, but I didn't
Are
see
you seeing it, Dan?
I see it.
Just brew your
I didn't even see it the
browser's
first
messing up.
time.
Here, try
What?
about this one.
Please,
Oh,
It's stream,
yeah.
not me.
I want
Because
to-
I'm worth it. I mean, if chat is seeing it, that's fine. It's just I don't
Chad,
see
are
it.
you seeing it?
Yeah, I see everything.
Oh, hold on. I had the stream up, but I accidentally paused it just to check. Yeah, no, StreamYard has been messing up. So apparently, it's been doing this thing where, like yesterday when I was doing the History of Pirates stream, they were saying they had an issue where when you shared something, there'd be like a delay or it wouldn't pop up, and you had to play like a clip for a second, like one of your little clips for 1 second to make sure it popped
do that
up.
on a stream.
Yeah,
they shared something.
You guys see
and
it?
Nothing
Okay.
happened. It was just a blank screen, and then they shared it again, and it worked. I mean,
Interesting.
if chat's seen, that's fine. It's just for some reason it's not showing for me.
Well, thank you for the thank you fee. For the Emperor 2, Imperium Galactica 1 and 2 are on Steam.
I played the crap out of 2.
I never played those.
Me
I mean, I
neither.
only played 1 at the time. Well, wanted to play 1 at the time because I liked 2. I wouldn't play it now. They were 4X games of their day, but there's way more complicated 4X games now.
Oh. The Blabbering Velma. Blab's face really does fit on Velma. It goes with it. I didn't even know that it was Blab's face. Dan's eyes. I'm sure he's looking at the face.
I am.
For $4.99, Dan, what are
Pretty
your feelings
face.
on the Harry Potter Quidditch game? Please try to answer while maintaining eye contact.
I don't think anyone has played it, have they?
I'm not too much into Harry Potter. I saw
Me neither.
the first 2 movies, and I think it's too late for me. I should have gone into them when I was a kid.
I feel the same.
I couldn't. I kept looking at my phones, like. Yeah,
I found
not
out that
interested.
The Prisoner of Azkaban is supposed to be the best movie, and it's one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Really?
I just never I don't dislike Harry Potter, but I just never really got into it. And
Yeah,
I
don't
think
dislike it either.
it's just like, whatever for me. I never played any of the games. I haven't watched all of the movies, which is funny
Well, I
because
did
my
like
best
the
friend in
last
middle
game
school
they
was
did.
obsessed, probably like Blabs. I'm sure now at this point in her adulthood, she's got a bunch of collectibles like Blabs, but
Yeah,
she always
Blabs
played
loves
it. She does. At ABC, do you guys remember ABC Family? I don't know if that was a thing for you guys. It was over here. It was like, well, they always did like the 25 Days of Christmas. And for some reason, they always played Harry Potter during that. Like they played Christmas movies, but they always played Harry Potter, which I guess it's
Oh
argued
yeah, I
that
always do that. Like
they're-
every weekend, they'd play a different Harry
yeah,
Potter.
yeah. And she always had it on. She was obsessed with the Harry Potter movies, but I just never really paid attention.
Well, that's
I
why
just-
I'd seen bits from that kind of thing, but
Yeah,
Prisoner of Azkaban,
exactly.
I was waiting for the movie to start, and then it ended. I'm like, wait, this
But
felt like
I
the intro
respect-
to a story.
I respect Harry Potter a lot. I think it was Gary that described it as the Star Wars for millennials, and it's like
I guess.
Kind of. I understand what he means by that. It's like it was the big thing for
It's the cultural moment, yeah.
Yeah,
the
yes,
cultural
for sure.
Exactly. But my problem with comparing to Star Wars is that I'm sure if I never watched Star Wars before and I was starting to try to get
Uh-oh.
Is he frozen
of
for you?
ageless, Star Wars Sky.
Your internet is dying.
You're freezing a little bit, Dan.
Okay, yeah, you
wanna
guys
refresh?
disappeared.
Oh, you're back. You're here.
Oh, I'm back. Okay.
Okay.
So where did I stop? What was the last?
You
thing
were
I said?
about to describe why you don't think I think you were saying that you could watch Star
Yeah,
Wars
if you
now
watch
and
Star
still
Wars
love it.
now,
If I watch Star Wars now for the first time ever, I could easily get into it. Not as much as Harry Potter. With Harry
I
Potter,
agree.
I had to. With Harry Potter, I had to be a certain age
yes.
to enjoy it. So that's my problem with comparing to Star Wars. But hey, and comparing to Lord of the Rings, I don't even entertain that discussion.
Yeah, that's all very different. And Raider,
Yeah.
I'm very sorry that you could not submit your thank you fee because you're still maxed out. But we still thank you for being here.
Look, they're trying to protect you from yourself. That's
Yeah,
what
well,
that fee is.
he went a little crazy on the History of Pirates stream last night, which was great. But that's
Oh, really?
why now I guess he's in YouTube prison for a month.
That's
Probably.
why they protect you from yourself.
Is that a
Yes.
thing? They
Yeah, you
like,
can only
donate
give
to
hey,
a
us.
you
certain
super
amount.
chatted too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
it
think it's
happens
like
to Raider
$500 or
sometimes.
something, and then they're just like, no.
Yeah.
Interesting. I
Mhm.
didn't know that.
Oh, I'm not gonna be able to pronounce your name properly. Can one of you, Nagari? Nagari?
Be careful.
Thompson?
That has N's, has G's. Be careful.
Yeah, you're right. That's why I said
Before you know it, you start
Ari.
saying ginger. It's all over the place.
and I'm in trouble. Thank you for the New Zealand $3 and a super sticker.
I would say
Masaroshi's
Nishia, but
back. Why does it fit? Why does it? They even got the headphones on. For $4.99, Jay's voice is the streaming equivalent to saying "piggy piggy" to oolong.
I have no idea. As far as
I don't
know,
get it.
I thought oolong was tea.
Yeah. I'm really sorry that we're so, like, some of these people might not even be here anymore. I'm so sorry. Deborah Perkins, thank you for the $9.99. Happy Saturday, everyone. Great stuff here. Hail to all. Thank you, Deborah. Holy moly, Brock gifted 20 memberships.
Oh my
Yes,
God.
queen.
Yes.
Is it still
I
not
saw that
playing
one.
for you? Okay.
No, I saw that
it.
one. I didn't
Thank
see
you
any of the
so
others.
much.
I needed Dan to DC to fix it, apparently.
He fixed it. He fixed the Matrix. Gravy, thank you for becoming a member. Mark a reality for 2. Poor Wicked is bro talk night. It's okay. That happened last time. It was just us 3. I'm fine with it.
I
Sometimes
think it
the
was
chat
worse
needs
last
it.
time. I can't even remember what it was about, but
What did we talk about last time?
I just remember Wicked being like, just kind of looking down.
I'm just
a lot.
here letting the boys have their night. No, everyone said they were like, bless Wicked for just letting the boys be boys tonight. Andrew Matthews for £2. We needed worm goo drinks from Willow.
Yes. The villain in Willow was a giant worm that produced a sticky substance that other people had to drink. And at one point, he put his hand in it, and it all like was like a gloopy kind of substance stuff. And he said,
oh, thank you.
A mother's milk, when a woman gives birth, gives milk to the child, it nourishes them. This is the milk that he gives to us, and it like drips through his fingers and stuff. I'm like, oh,
It's cum.
that's everything. I hope that gets clipped.
It's jizz.
It was though. It was. I called it worm.
He
It
just
totally
said it so
is.
calmly.
that's exactly what it was.
There's
It
no
was
way around
literally-
it.
It was the only thing. It was like if you turn gay, you go evil. That just seemed
It's
to be
like-
the way the story was going.
And the way those people at Disney are such perverts, that's totally on purpose.
Oh, 100%. Because it was never
Yeah.
gloopy before.
There's
it was only
no
in the
way around
finale
it.
where they had to put his hand in it. She's like, oh, you don't eat that, do you? And she was a lesbian, so of course she wouldn't. Thank you, Dan. For finally saying the truth.
I'm the one who
what
says
we've all
it.
been thinking.
Yeah. Everybody thinks it. I'm the one who says it.
He's your inner monologue. Mate, thank you for the 5. Hey, Disparu, the one and only Ivan was deleted along with Willow, but it's now available for digital purchase. Don't lose hope.
I want a Willow season 2. I support Warwick Davis and everything he does. I think he's an underrated actor who made the best series of all time.
Andrew Matthews for £2. Disparu, look up Brown Note. It's related to Jay. I'm not looking it up, but he told Disparu to, so it's fine. You can do it.
I mean, to be fair, that just
it a
it's
trap?
probably just just a
Probably.
pitch. It's probably just a picture of Young 3PO. Let's be honest. He's like filmed himself just on the
Open?
toilet, and he just
Oh,
released
no,
it as an
here we
indie
go.
movie.
Jerry, thank you for being a member for 1 month. Hail Saucy Saturday and fellow musician Sir Dan Vasc from the Old Scottish Poet. Thank you for great laughs.
What's up, Jerry?
Thank you, Jerry.
How's it going?
Retro Meister for 5. Zachary Levy's Chuck was spy fan fiction done right, and where the geek wins the girl. Also, Timothy Dalton was season 4's main villain.
Really? I didn't know that. I've never seen Timothy Dalton in anything else but James Bond.
I have to catch up. I should have like a James Bond marathon soon.
There's a lot.
There's a lot.
get on
Yeah,
the
it'll.
marathon.
It wouldn't
I
be
think
in one
there's
day,
27 movies, I think.
but I'll have a couple month
You can skip
marathon where I
Daniel
watch. Russell Hall for
Watch
2.
the non-Eon Bond films instead of Daniel Craig's.
Oh,
They're still more Bond.
Never Say Never Again is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Never Say Never Again is very good. It's a remake of Thunderball,
Yeah, I was reading
done by
how it
Sean
happened.
Connery.
Apparently, they had to get there was a co-writer who fought them
Yes.
for the rights, and they made him go, "Well, you can't do it for so many years." And then the instant the year was up, he's like, "Right, I'm doing it." And so
Yeah,
he just made his own.
that was because of a dispute that Ian Fleming had back since before the movies. Back when he was writing Thunderball, there was some dispute. Some people saying that he based that book on a screen. How do you say it? Yeah, just the story of from a movie that they were planning to do.
Was he in
It's-
Hot Fuzz?
I
Who
didn't
was he in
remember.
Hot
I don't
Fuzz?
remember.
Have to look it up.
What's Hot Fuzz?
I think I may have seen it. I don't know. It's a movie.
It's the Cornetto trilogy from Shaun of the Dead guy.
Okay, I thought that's what it was.
Oh,
okay. Russell Hall for 2. Cooking good food works better in a naked apron. I feel like you definitely have one of those.
No, I know him.
Dan looks confused.
Yeah, he's like the town council leader in Hot Fuzz.
Okay. Ed Song for 5. Dan, they do cast hot women. Az can attest against these terrible lies. He loves She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woman.
Yeah. Yeah. Did a great rack. What he said.
That was so funny.
And the best bit about that was, if it was a one-off, you'd be like, okay, maybe everyone makes mistakes, right? Thailand exists. But it happened like 3 times in the same week. Even twice. You may get away with 3 times. 3 times is a pattern. Right?
Yeah.
Snorky World
Tough.
for 10. Wicked, would you be interested in a voiceover for animation? Send me an email. I have it. Maybe one of my mods can drop it in the chat for you. I don't know if you're still here, but I do have it in my info here on YouTube. But yeah, send me an email. Russell Hall for 5. You need to be worried about being stabbed in all sorts of ways when you live in the butt sacks capital of the world.
Yeah.
Butt sacks
You can never drop the soap.
Where's the butt sex capital of the world? It's talking
Prison.
about Brazil or London?
The Brazilian prison.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
a
either like
Brazilian
prison, Portland, or what's the place over here?
All of the
Brighton.
above, everything we were talking about.
I see.
Great at sword fighting.
Can you read the name and this chat? Just for I want to hear how you say it.
I love how you read all of it, and then he's like, no, I'm not even going to start reading
I'm not
it. So,
disputing it.
Hasser, Digger, Jack, Dorsey Eye. What? Hasser, Digger, Jack,
Be
Dorsey
careful.
Eye
Be careful.
for £2. I'm from Worcester. Oh, I'm from Worcester, UK. We say Worcestershire.
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 Well, it is
Worcestershire.
Worcestershire. But he's from Worcester.
He's from Wachacha.
No, he's from Worcester, but he says Worcestershire.
Thank you, Hokies. Ed Song for 5. Pigeons are too complicated. Back in the day, people just used their prison wallets. It may hurt and smell, but people were professional.
You don't want to shove a pigeon up there.
A phone.
Yeah.
Ed
But
Song
very
for
got
another.
a tail.
No, Dan, we have Ed Song for another 5. Sorry, no, Dan, we have not. But I played Hobo Simulator, and I learned that you can use pigeons as projectiles to defeat rival homeless gangs in a hobo throwdown.
That sounds very fun.
Yeah.
Hobo
I gotta
Simulator.
He's gonna look into it.
Wait,
Yeah.
isn't Hobo Simulator just getting drunk on a Saturday night?
Yeah.
Mate for 5. Disbrew, aren't you only 2 inches taller than Wicked? Oh, was it because of the way the pictures looked when we were in person and you were like back a little bit? And you also kneeled down a little bit? Yes, it's a lie. Disbrew isn't actually tall. I'm the tall one.
Yes. She's
yes.
actually like 9'5".
Yep, taller than everybody.
Mhm.
Jake Stanley's been a member for
She
1
just lies
month.
to her. All the pictures are just her, but she's squatting down. And
Yeah, just so I can
kneeling.
look short. It's all an
Yeah.
illusion.
'Cause
Shoot,
otherwise she
we're
wouldn't fit
still
in the camera. She'd just be like up to like a belly button.
yeah, we're still live. I have to go back tonight. Welcome to Gay Brazil. Where the hell is Man Buns?
It's coming.
He's
coming.
working on it.
It's gonna be worth it. It's gonna be worth it. It's
Russell
like
Hall.
you put together the most the most lazy and the most lazy people together to work on a project. Gary took 6 months to deliver the song to me, and I also and I had to do a bunch of extra stuff too to the song. So yeah, sorry
He's
about
gonna make
that.
it perfect.
Yeah.
Russell Hall for 2. Sorry, I'm starting to crash here. That dwarf has a forehead like Ryan Kittle. That forehead song was pretty funny.
It's
Jesus
surprising
Davila
he's not taller, really.
has been a member for, gifted a membership. Sorry. Thank you, Jesus. Member for 16 months. MTV Steve, keep it saucy in a New York accent. Keep it saucy. There you go.
I'm walking here.
Saucy. That's it every time. Just I'm walking here.
it's my second favorite American accent. I'm walking here.
Hassa for another 10. I think that the princess remakes
money.
are making the princes the male equivalent of the princesses, like how Eric wanted to explore the sea. Snow White's love interest will have 7 bandit friends. Yeah. Oh yeah, they're definitely doing that. Like it was really annoying. Like the Eric and the Little Mermaid. Like he wasn't even royal blood. He like washed up on shore and they adopted him, and he was like the odd person out. The king and queen were black, and he, you know, was white, and the whole like village was black, and it's like he was the odd person, and it was just very odd, very odd.
And then at the end, rather than him saving her, he's in trouble, and they have her drag herself up, tail and all, onto the ship.
You've seen Little Mermaid, right, Dan?
I'm gonna flap about
the original, like the cartoon, or no?
Oh, I've seen the original.
The Little Mermaid, the remake.
I've never watched any single Disney remake, live action remake.
So the Little Mermaid live action, I skimmed through it, like I pirated, like sailed the seas for it because I wasn't gonna go see it. But the original, you know, the epic scene where it's like it shows Eric kind of proving his love too, like when he kills Ursula and stabs her with the ship. Well, in the live action, no joke, this cracked me up, and I know it wasn't supposed to be funny, but it was hilarious to me. She flops on the deck because she doesn't have her legs, she's a mermaid, and she pulls herself up and she looks like this, and she's the one that does it, and it looks ridiculous. It's super dark too.
In the remake of Peter Pan, Wendy steals Peter Pan's flying magic, and the boat flies, and it turns upside down, and everyone's like holding on, and Wendy flies up above the ship, and Hook goes, "You've got the boy's magic," and she goes, "No, this magic belongs to no man," and then flies around and kicks everyone's ass.
I didn't see that
Peter
one.
Peter Pan falls because he can no longer fly, and she catches him like a bitch and like holds underneath him.
There's no way I'm watching any of that.
It's pissing hilarious.
No, thank you.
And of course, they have all like
Pan.
the Indians on the island and stuff, which they change because they're like, "This is a racist depiction of the natives." It's like, oh.
Yeah, those little warnings that they give on Disney Plus are so cringe.
Well, in this, they just change their entire story. They make her like some super powerful woman, and they get rid of all the family and stuff.
Just watch Hook.
Oh, I love Hook. I got a big poster right over here. Love
it's awesome.
Russell Hall for Stu. Hot psychopaths are ironically less likely to stab you.
Yeah, you're too busy stabbing them.
Yo.
Haha, I got it.
Yeah,
I got it faster.
Sarah Shahi. You don't need to own a television then. You'd probably never leave the house.
Yeah.
The Singing Tigs for 5. What are y'all's favorite sad sack / emo hard rock / metal group or singer? No, you can't pick Linkin Park. Mine's early shine down, such as 45, Hail, Saucy.
I don't listen to sad music. I hate it. I don't. I see no reason for it to exist. Why would you use art to make people sad? I hate it. I hate the concept of it. I reject it. I reject it. But thank you, Singing Tigs.
When I was into
being an asshole. Being an asshole to Singing Tigs.
When I was into metal, it was always sort of female-fronted stuff like Lacuna Coil and that kind of thing. Evanescence was teenage years.
Oh yeah, Evanescence for sure.
Who are the people that did Stand My Ground? I'd have to Google the song name. It's been a while.
Go for it. Well, you're doing that. Jim Watari, thank you for the 10. Disparu. Sarah Shahi has a shower scene in Paradise, and you might actually like the show. He's like, I'm not going to let them know that I'm writing this down right now.
No, I'm trying to Google Stand My Ground, but for some reason Google's not working.
Harokami for 2. Read the book,
It says my internet. It literally says my internet isn't working.
I think it is.
I
disagree.
I beg to differ.
Well, it's either like Google is down or.
Are you still here, Harokami? What books are you talking about? You don't have to super chat.
I think it's Harry Potter.
Harry
Potter. That came up when we were talking
Within
about
Temptation. That's what it was.
Within Temptation is a song.
Chrome.
Okay.
No, it's the band. Stand My Ground.
Got you. So I read. It was in like maybe middle school or elementary school. I read most of the first book, and I didn't hate it, but it was one of those that like after like getting into a serious reading session of it, and I didn't finish it, I didn't go back and pick it up again. You know what I mean? Like I was into it, but it's just like I guess not that much because I didn't pick it back up. But I don't hate on, some people are mean to the Harry Potter fans if they don't like it. Most people do, especially girls, I will say. Like no hate there, but like people think it's weird when I say I don't like I'm not into Harry Potter.
I'd only be mean to Harry Potter fans if it's the only book they've read.
Yeah, fair.
There's some people that say I've read only that, and I really love it. I love the stuff, and I'm really into it. It's like, but it's the only book I've read. Like
that was the case for a lot of people back in the day. I remember people who didn't used to read, they were reading Harry Potter books.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that.
Yeah, me too. Eric Stratton's been a member for 15 months. Thank you. Talking about clones of Wicked earlier, put me down for a 55-year-old version that likes Mike, Shane, and kayaking class for rapids.
Yeah, Wicked is now Build a Wife. You just like tick the boxes that you want, and then we pop out a clone of her like Mickey 17.
Look at that.
That's why she's the perfect thing, because as she's so small, she doesn't take much resources to print.
Very easy to print.
Yeah.
Justin Martins has been a member for 7 months. I always figured Mike was joking, but that window on the back wall definitely looks painted on. You really don't have any windows, do you?
You can see the lights turning on and off from the buildings. If you watch
he's
it,
done
you'll
it with
see.
metallic paint, like reflective paint.
He's just messing with lights. Like
that would be a lot of effort.
I like how it's real because I'm too lazy to fake it. It's essentially
exactly.
Russell Hall for 5. Yes, Brazil is officially called the butt sacks capital of the world. I'm not even making that up. You can Google it.
I don't doubt it.
Black Kane for 5. Disparu, now that you're on F&T, bully Gary into reading Wheel of Time. He needs to know our pain. At least Lord of the Rings was the Jackson trilogy. We have nothing.
He hasn't even watched Alice in Borderland yet.
Really? I'm on season 2, episode 1. I'm into it.
I prefer season 2.
Do you? All right. Well,
I
I'll let
wasn't
you know.
sure
Only
at
on the
first,
first
and then I
episode.
rewatched it. I'm like, no, season 2 is definitely.
Interesting. Bebop for 2. Metallica.
But I think
1. Dan.
To go back to the thing, Gary did say he was going to try, because I think he started the book 1, and then he said he was going to go back to it. So he's like planning to, like, voluntarily.
I hear nothing but good things about Wheel of Time.
I've never read it. I'll have to add it to the list. Justin
I
Martins
think any book series that gets to like 14 books must have something about it, just to survive that long.
What about Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, or Nirvana, Dan? You don't enjoy bands like these?
No, personally, I'm not a huge grunge guy. I don't like grunge. I skip 90s rock and early 2000s rock pretty much.
You just like the classic and then the new stuff?
I go straight from classic rock and hard rock, 80s hard rock to heavy metal.
You like what you like. I do like some of like the 90s and early 2000s, but when it comes to like rock, I'm more like what I grew up listening to because of my parents and stuff. Classic.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah, I don't like art in general. That's not only for music, but it's for everything. Anime, video games, movies. I don't like art that makes me feel, I hate that word, but I'm gonna use it, like less empowered. I like art that makes me feel stronger, not art that makes me feel like shit.
There is something about that. I use music as sort of mood moderation. Like, it does make you feel a certain way. So if you listen to depressing stuff, you'll just be depressed.
Yeah.
And I think it was Good Charlotte. I just stopped listening. No, yeah, I think it was Good Charlotte. Or 30 Seconds to Mars. I think I just stopped listening to them because I just got depressed. Like, I realized it was actually affecting me, and I was feeling worse.
That's very true.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, there's some people that won't watch.
I can't listen to it.
That won't watch. I like 30 Seconds to Mars, but some of it, not all
I
of
like
it.
the thing, but I was listening to it for ages, and
And
I'm
then you're
like,
like,
no, actually, this is
why am I so
ruining,
sad?
Well, it wasn't that. It was just. There's been a few things. There's been some YouTube channels where I had to stop watching them because I found out there was once I tuned in, and it was almost like my brain rebelled. It was like, I don't want to listen to this, and I suddenly felt disgusted by the content. It's like, because it's actually making me feel so awful. My brain was like, no, you don't want to listen to it.
Yeah, and the musicians that do that, it's like what are you doing, man? You're treating your audience like a therapist or something.
Yeah.
It's that the art, to me, in my humble opinion, art is not meant for that.
That's not a bad way to look at it. You want to make people happy.
Happy and empowered, and it's not
Yeah.
like you cannot ever write music or any sort of art about sad subjects. But I come from a point of view of, if I'm gonna write a sad song, I'm gonna write from the point of view of overcoming it, not from the point of view of complaining about it and, oh, poor me. I'm gonna write it from the point of view of, hey, in spite of that, I'm gonna move on and keep doing awesome things and keep being great. That's how I approach writing sad art. I don't know.
That's the difference between Daredevil and Lord of the Rings. Daredevil starts with, oh, I'm upset, so I'm going to stop being a hero. It's like, hang on. No, you have the power to save people. So if you don't, you are actually hurting them. You're the one who is now responsible. Their blood is on your hands because you could have stopped them. You can hear them being beaten up in the streets, and you're actively ignoring their cries for help. That makes you the villain. And so in this, he's just a miserable git. Whereas in Lord of the Rings, if Frodo had turned around and just gone back for a couple of years and like, I'm just giving up, I'd be like, what is this? But he gets to a point where he's like, I need to go back. It's like, no, it doesn't matter if you want to go back, because the world is worth fighting for, so you have to continue whether you want to or not. There is no one else can do this. You don't have a choice. This is your duty. You've been given this because no one else can. And that's a way better story that people used to be told. And now it's like, no, I just feel sad and depressed for a while and stop. Like, what?
Yeah, man, and it's kind of an interesting dichotomy, because some of my favorite stories of all time are tragic ending stories. Spartacus, Braveheart, Gladiator. But those stories are tragic, but those heroes push through the tragedy. And a lot of times in a lot of those stories, they gave up their lives to end that tragedy. So
yeah, it doesn't matter that they failed, it's that they died.
It's how they failed.
They didn't give up to the end. Like, Spartacus dies in a blaze of glory, essentially.
Yeah.
Like, his entire army gets destroyed, but his journey to get there, and he just messed up at the end. But he still kept going. He had something in life that he was trying to do.
Exactly. So it's not about avoiding negative emotion or expressing negative emotion through art, but it's the way that you do it and the spirit that you put behind it. Are you just complaining about the negative emotion, or are you pushing through that negative emotion and doing something great? So
With this is why, if
that's
you've
my
not
way of
seen Alice in
seeing it.
Borderlands, you would like it. There's a lot of stuff in that where they're in a sort of a Hunger Games kind of environment. People are dying all over the place. But it always goes through, like, no, we have to get through this. And you find all the people where you essentially end up with the elite peak people all fighting against each other because everyone else has got filtered out, and then you're just versus the best people trying to overcome each other.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, there's a difference between, like, when people just, like, you know, how he was saying with the Daredevil in the new series, it's like, woe is me, and like, you got knocked down, so you're just gonna stay down, versus getting up and just keep, even if you keep getting knocked down, it says something when you keep getting back up and trying until the very end.
Yeah,
it's still empowering, even if in the end it's not the outcome that you want. It's that you never gave up.
When people like source material, the response that I've had before when I've said that is people like, well, it happened in the comics. It's like, okay, so the comics were crap as well then. I don't care if you told bad stories somewhere else. I think this is a horrible story that shouldn't be told. Oh, just give up for a while and go on dates. No. He's actively evil if he's listening to people being harmed and not doing something about it. He does have a duty to help because he has the power to.
Very true, 16-bit. Staying down is the victimhood complex. Yep. That's the basis for the Rocky movie. Yep.
Yeah, I was thinking about the Rocky movies.
Yeah.
I was thinking about the Rocky movies.
Here, let me get these super chats, and then we'll start saying our goodbyes. Ed Song, thank you for the 5. I forgot Jared Leto, Morbius, was lead singer for 30 Seconds to Mars. His Morbius and Joker turds pushed out his fame as lead singer. I've seen 30 Seconds to Mars live twice. Now, they do have sad songs. They're not all sad, though. One thing I will say, this is kind of a sad moment, but I've seen them twice. The second time was in New York City, and it was right after Chester Bennington passed away, and Jared Leto went into the center of the crowd. and I can't remember what song he's saying right now, but he did an a cappella version of a really sweet song and dedicated it to Chester. And like the whole crowd was quiet, and everyone had like lighters and their phones up, and it was a really beautiful moment. I found it on YouTube actually, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was there. It was a really good moment. Because they were really like tight, and it was super sad.
After Morbius, I'll allow him a depressive song.
I'll allow you. Get one for every movie.
I remember when Chester died, I did almost immediately. I think it was in the same day I managed to put out a quick Linkin Park cover, and I made like in like 5 hours I made 6,000 views.
Wow!
And I remember for me at the time I was like, oh my god, I made it. 6,000 views in 5 hours.
That's a lot, though. I mean, I know now compared to what you get, like it seems very.
It was it was my first moment that I was like, holy shit, I did it.
I did it. I'm famous.
That was me.
Yeah.
No
with,
pictures, please.
Saints Row videos. They got over 1,000. It was like, oh my god.
Saints Row.
Yeah, Saints Row. The remake that they recently did, the woke remake. It was when the first trailers and everything came out. And they started announcing this, they're going into crime to get rid of their student debt. All that kind of stuff.
Jesus.
I remember when I got my first, 1K views. And this was before I was going live or anything. And I was just making videos. And I hit 1K on, like, a Dead by Daylight, like, talking about one of the characters or something. And I was like, oh, my gosh, I made a video that hit 1K. Just talking about a game. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It's exciting when you hit your first, like, milestones. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Black Cane for 5. Is it WOT or what? Is it a band or not?
Wheel
a band?
Time.
Sorry, is that a band? Because we were just talking about bands. Wheel of Time has great advice for men, like no matter what comes, face it on your feet, and never kiss a girl whose brothers have knife scars.
Wheel of Time has a lot of sayings like that.
Nice.
What
Blind Guardian has a fantastic song called "The Wheel of Time," which is about the books. It's a fantastic song.
Another one they have is death is as light as a feather, duty as heavy as a mountain. That was a good one. You have to do what you have to do.
Nice.
Kia Starmer.
Oh, he's the
right?
British leader. £10.
Did I say it right?
Well, yeah, because he's saying F. Keir Starmer.
No, I'll let you read this one because there's probably gonna be other words I don't know.
It's called Keir Starmer.
Oh,
so
okay. So
it's just as you would
Keir
expect.
Starmer.
Basically, yeah. The best thing about him is his name rhymes with basically everything. I think my favorite one is someone called the police his Stormtroopers.
Stormtroopers.
People also called him like Tuktia Kia. There's been loads of rhyming names for him. But in private, check out the song Asa Digger.
It says the pronounce is right there.
Pronounced Asa Ebo Y. I'm sorry. Where is the D?
He's like, I don't get this.
There's a D and an I and a G. How'd you get Ebo from Digger? It doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah. That. I'm sure this wasn't a typo.
Yeah, because Ebo Y would be the third word, but you've entirely missed a word. So I don't even understand. Either way, it's a song from the show where two Mormons get sent to Uganda to convert them. Jack Dorsett tried to influence their election. I've no idea.
What a crazy super chat.
That's a very great super chat. Thank you. Mao and Mutt for $4.99. Night Wishes, The Poet and the Pendulum is an incredibly sad song, but the theme is about what it took to overcome depression. Fantastic song. So songs like that, I've never heard of it, but I don't mind. I mean, I don't mind a sad song. It depends.
One of my favorite Nightwish songs is their cover of Phantom of the Opera. Awesome.
Oh yeah.
The Singing Tigs for 5. Dan, were your covers of Song of Pain and Jessamine? Did I say that right? Jessamine?
Gethsemane, yeah.
Oh, I said it wrong. Just songs in the moment. They're not exactly upbeat songs lyrically, but they're still great.
Oh, thank you. And I don't mean I don't think the opposite of sad song is upbeat songs. There's more nuance than that. I'm not necessarily advocating that every song should be upbeat, but I don't think those songs are sad. They're pretty awesome songs. They're especially "Son of Pain" is a very epic song, and I think "Son of Pain" is even triumphant in a way.
Like for some reason, my Google isn't working on anything. But I was thinking of songs like "My Body Is a Cage." I don't know who does it. It's been on various different things. I think I heard it on House first, but it's a really kind of slow song that builds up over time, and it's not sad, but it's kind of emotional in a way.
Yeah, it's not like it's either sad or happy.
Yeah,
it's like there's a lot of emotions you can explore without necessarily being negative and bitchy. I think bitchy is a good expression for the sort of stuff that I'm talking about. I don't like bitchy stuff.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like I think it depends on like
Something
people's
that's
definition
very
of sad.
bitchy. Something that's very bitchy is Evanescence. Evanescence is very like complaining, just complaining for the sake of complaining.
yeah. I remember reading because I used to like them a lot as a teenager, but I remember reading they were originally like a Christian band, and they hated it. They didn't like the fact that that's how they became known, and so they got really pissed off and kind of tried to go counter to it and just started denying all their history as like a Christian band and stuff. It was really weird.
That is weird.
Interesting.
When people do that. It's like, accept if you change your outlook, accept what you used to be. Don't just deny it. You know what I mean? You can change.
Yeah, it was like they almost rebelled against what made them known in the first place, kind of thing.
Yeah. So especially if it's how, yeah. Ed Song, thank you for the 5. Watching Starmer trying to box made me think he was gay. You could hear the love taps. What is that from?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Same thing. Starmer, leader.
Oh, the leader. Okay.
He tried to throw punches.
He did.
I think we'd be safe if him punching us was the worst thing we had to deal with. We'd be safe.
This is a good point. Thank you,
Exactly.
Panda, for the Canadian too. Just hate, feel sorry for me songs. Yeah.
Exactly.
But we're getting at that time. Dan, thank you so much for hanging out with us for 3 hours again. It's always
Thank
a
you
good time
so
when we
much
have
for
Dan
having
on.
me. It's always great to be here.
What do you have going on? You're working on some music. Do you have anything like coming soon? Like any videos or any gaming streams or streams or streams?
Yeah, probably Monday when I hear Drunk 3PO speaking. But
he likes to save it all up for him.
Just hit the notifications for Dan Vasc and also for Super Vasc 3D because who knows? I don't have a specific schedule. The release with the Ripper track depends on a bunch of stuff on the Ripperverse side. But yeah, we're working on a date. And Men Buns Are Gay, still working on it. I'm yet to send a working prototype to Gary, still trying some ideas that include a few surprises involving Gary himself. We have been talking about some interesting ideas. And Supervast 3D, I'm gonna go back to streaming Red Dead Redemption to try to 100% it real soon. So yeah.
How far are you in on that right now? Are you like halfway or more? I mean, you put a lot of hours in.
I've beat the game, the entire game. Now it's just doing the rest of the stuff to just getting all the
like the extra
the achievements. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff like hunt 10 of every animal in the game, that sort of stuff. Get like 300 plants of some kind of plant that's super rare. That sort of stuff.
Got it. So you're just 100%ing it. Got it.
Yeah.
Also, all of his links. I'll put your gaming channel in the description. I forgot to do that. I have everything else in there though. We'll
just search
that.
for Super Vasc 3D. Super easy to find.
Yeah, I will put it for anyone watching this back. If you're not on there, I'll make sure I have it in there. No problem. And my mods have been dropping your links and everything. Thank you guys. Real quick, I won't forget lifting game. Not gonna forget about you. Lifting gnome. I said game. Thank you for the 5. Hey, y'all. Thanks for entertaining me while I recover from neck injury. Oh, question for Dan. Are you classically trained? Do you play any instruments?
I had some classical singing training, and I play very badly a little bit of everything. Because I feel that that's the singer's obligation. The singer has to play badly, at least, a little bit of everything, just to be able to give his opinion. Just to be able to talk to the rest of the band.
Nice. F Kia for another 5. Thank you. My typos were cringe. Forgot Diga and misspelled Sue and autocorrect spelled Dorsey as Dorset. My bad. You're fine. Listen, it happens to the best of us. What do you have going on, Disparu? Any videos?
Just put out a Rachel Ziegler video about, how come you can simultaneously know that journalists asking you questions are the problem and yet still blame the audience.
Yeah.
In the future, there's also Seth Rogen's doing a comedy about the studio about what's wrong with Hollywood. So I'll probably be covering that at some point. Then you've got Snow White, you've got Doctor Who coming up, you've got all of the DI articles and things coming out. Plenty to cover. The near term.
He's always got a bunch of videos.
That's good.
And I tomorrow I'll be doing my Sunday night gaming stream with Capable Gentleman. It should be at 8 p.m. Eastern. Not sure what we're playing at. I usually let him pick because that's the only stream he does usually every week. So I let him pick. But 8 p.m. Eastern, we'll be back at it. Yeah, that's it. I'll be around over the week doing other things. I'm going to send you guys over to Vara. I don't know what she's doing. I didn't see. She's either playing a game or talking about stuff. But guys, thank you so much. Thanks again, Dan, for coming on. It's always fun.
My pleasure. Thanks for
make
having
sure
me.
if you're not subbed and, do all that. Dan and Disparu got the links there. Anything else you guys want to
add?
add?
You were commanding Dan to sub.
Sub to Dan.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Dan. If you've not
you better
sub.
sub.
You better sub before you leave.
Sub to my channel before you leave.
I will not have a guest on the show who doesn't sub to me.
Anything else that you guys want to add or plug before we go?
Listen to Jay's voice in the morning.
Yeah, we need to plug everyone
Jay
who's
in the
around
morning.
Drunk 3PO.
Yeah. Oh my god. All right, guys. On that note, we are out. Thank you so much. Bye.
Yeah.